One of the best asset classes for you to acquire, wholesale, or even just be a bird dog for is mobile home parks, RV parks, trailer parks. This video is going to be basically 2 hours straight of the best content that we've ever done on this channel all around mobile home parks. I've been buying mobile home parks with creative finance, which is what I focus on for the last 6 or 7 years. And some of these parks I bought with $0 down, 0% interest, and they cash flow incredibly well. I want to show you guys where I'm finding these, how I'm negotiating them, who am I doing these deals with, and how we're structuring these deals all together. Remember, I focus on creative finance. And some people might say, well, man, Pace, you were talking about trailer parks a year ago, now you're talking about them again. Well, guys, I talk about what I buy. And I have recently found a honeypot of amazing RV parks and mobile home park opportunities, to the point where I'm doing a challenge coming up in the next couple of days. That challenge is called Mobile Money. It's a 4-day challenge. I'll show you where to find these deals, how to structure these deals, how to negotiate, and how to partner with people like me on your first mobile home park. What's beautiful about mobile home parks and creative finance is that just one deal will allow you to quit your job or maybe retire your spouse. So enjoy this playlist, but more importantly, as you're watching the playlist, go down below, click the link in the description to come join the Mobile Money Challenge for 4 days for free. I want to show you how to bring deals to people like me so that we can collaborate. I'll be giving you guys contracts. I'll be giving you spreadsheets, calculators, and every tool that you need. And for anybody that sticks around for all 4 days and shows me how committed you are, I'll also give you a list of all the mobile home parks in America with every single phone number of every single seller. I'm all about giving, but more importantly, if I teach you, the likelihood of us doing a deal goes way, way higher. So enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. Pace Morby here. I'm one of the hosts of Triple Digit Flip on A&E. In this video, we are going to explain to you how amazing mobile home parks can be on seller finance utilizing creative finance. So the question is, can I buy a mobile home park without cash, credit, or credentials? And the answer is yes. My student Tommy Clark comes in to one of my weekly Zooms with my students and asked me a great question about a mobile home park he had just recently locked up utilizing seller finance. And the answer that I give him in this video, he says, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. Guys, this is why having a mentor is so incredibly important, is because you might be going through the path of getting deals, watching YouTube videos, reading books, going to seminars, but what happens when you run into a very specific problem and you need a very specific answer? That is what I give Tommy Clark in this YouTube video, and I hope you enjoy. Please, if at any point during this video you get enough value to leave me a comment, give us a subscribe or a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video.
What's up, man? How's it going?
What up, dog?
So it's a mobile home park in Alabama. So it's seller finance. It's 15 units.
Okay.
Only 7 of the 15 are income producing right now. Seller wants 240, 10% down at 8% for 30 years.
That's a really high. That's a really high interest rate.
Yeah, I know. That's like the only thing that he wanted out of it, though.
So why are the other ones not income producing?
Because they're vacant. They're empty. There's no units.
Oh, the lots are empty.
Right.
Got it. Okay, cool.
It's all separate septic tank, power, water. So really,
Tommy, I'm going to break down this deal for you real quick. Okay.
All right.
Because I want you to think about the buyer, the end buyer, and you keep them in mind on this. Okay. So let's talk through that. If I buy this deal from you, it's $240,000, right?
Right.
Okay. And I'm going to put down $24,000 to the seller. Okay. What's my payment for the remaining balance? I got a remaining balance of 216,000. No, I'm sorry. 216,000 at 8%. What's my payment?
I believe it's 1580.
Okay. 1580. Does that include PITI or just PI?
Just PI.
Okay. So we got to add taxes and insurance. Let's add another $200 on that. So I'm at $1,780 a month. Okay. So if I'm at $1,780 a month, that's my starting point. Okay. That's what I have income, and income does not mean profit, but that's my income, right? How much is my, I'm sorry, not my income. That's my payment. I apologize, guys. That's my payment. What is my income with the units as it is right now?
3,300.
Okay, 3,300. That's how it is right now.
Yes.
Okay, great.
And only 5 of the 7 are park owned. The other 2 are just lot rents.
Got it. Okay.
So my plan is to get it filled up and then seller finance out the units. And
Are
then
you going to keep it for
possibly-
yourself?
Oh, the land, yeah, but I don't want to have to manage it. So
Are you buying this deal yourself?
yeah, I'm looking for an investor on it, a private money lender.
Got it. Okay, cool. And then we don't need to talk about it. You got different set of questions. What are your questions?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to know what you thought about the deal mostly, and then like how you would go about doing the seller finance on the units. Like, would you sell them off as you moved them in, or would you seller finance the ones that are there first, or how would you?
I would never even put I would never even put trailers on your dirt. I would just have people bring in their trailers themselves. Don't go buy trailers. Let people bring their own trailers in there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So just go after the lot rent and not even worry about.
Yeah, just go out. You don't. Yeah. Why go through the hassle of going and buy a mobile home and then seller financing the mobile home just to fill a spot? Just go find people to fill the spot with their own trailer. Like a lot of my mobile home parks, I've got multiple people that just have their trailers, not their trailers, but their RVs. And they'll come live in there for 2-3 months at a time on their RVs with their truck. Right. So you're going to get a lot of people to just come in there and fill up those spots where you don't have to go buy mobile homes to fill in those dirt spots. You can just have people with their RVs and their trucks fill in those spots. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So for me, let's go through this deal again. I was going to say, yeah, it looks like a pretty decent deal. Even if you were going to try and assign this, it looks like a little decent deal because how many lots are empty right now?
8.
Okay. So, and then you're probably going to be able to lot rent these out at what, $300 a month?
Maybe that might be a little high.
Okay. So 250?
Probably 250. Yeah.
Okay. So 8 at 250 is 2,000, right?
Yep.
So my potential income is $5,300. Right. After I get those lots filled. Okay. That's great. Now, if that's my potential income is 5,300, what is my total cost? My total cost is, let's go through it. You got $24,000 for your seller, the down payment. Okay. Mm-hmm. Going back to the entry fee here. 2, does he have any arrears or liens? I already know the answer is no.
No.
Okay. So that's 0. Why are people saying congratulations? Somebody says, I think because they're like, you're hanging out at my house or something. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. So that's 2. 3 is my assignment fee, which are you direct to seller on this?
Yes.
Okay. So you're $0 here. You got closing costs, which are going to be probably like, let's say $3,000. Then you've got renovations. Let's just say hypothetically, you got $10,000 in miscellaneous stuff that's going to come up over the next couple of months just to be safe. 6, you got a couple months of payments and stuff. So let's just say another $5,000 to be safe here. And then 7, to find those tenants over the next couple of months, you're probably going to spend some marketing dollars, about $2,000. Okay. So my total cost to get into this deal, you don't need any of this right now, but you are going to need this to fully get it up to that $5,300. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Really all you need right now is 24,000 plus the 3,000, right? So you need 27 grand. So if you're at $27,000 and you find a lender at, let's say 10% interest that comes in here with you,
your payment with that lender is going to be even 12%. Let's say, let's hike it up to 12% because you're new. And let's say they're like, yeah, well, I got to have a little bit more return. They're going to have a $270 payment that comes to them every month. That's the private lender. And then you've got your $1,780 that goes to your seller finance note. Right? So you're basically, and then let's add another miscellaneous like $1,000 on here for like park maintenance, landscape, whatever, just miscellaneous stuff. And let's just call it, and I know there's engineers in here losing their mind the way I just zoomed through math. But let's just call it $3,500. I'll add like $400 in buffer. So your cost to run and own this park is $3,500. And your income on the deal is $5,300. I like the deal. I would do that deal. If I lived in your area, I would do that deal. You're going to make $1,800 a month net on this deal. And you're going to be able to pay down this guy's loan over time and maybe even at some point refinance him out at like a lower interest rate. But even at 8% interest, you still have the ability to make $1,800 net.
Right. So, what would you do with the 5 that are currently park owned? Would you sell those?
Yeah, I would sell those on seller finance. I'd get rid of them off your books. Get rid of them.
So, so I understand, like, I need to use an RMLO to do that with, since there's 5, right?
No,
Not necessarily.
mm-mm.
Okay. Would you
These
sell
aren't
them?
houses, bro. These are cars.
Right.
Right. Those things are not real. That's not real estate. Those are trailers. Those are vehicles.
Would you hold the notes yourself if it was your deal, or would you sell the notes?
I'd hold the notes. What's going to happen is if they default, guess what you have in your paperwork? You have the right to take those mobiles back, and they're already on your property, right? So the last thing you want to do is have somebody hold a note on a vehicle that is on your property. You should hold the note because they're on your property. Therefore, you want to control those.
All right, guys, welcome to Yuma, Arizona. This is a park where we are going to be taking a tour with Jimmy, our property manager. We've owned this park for about 3 years. I bought this park with no money down. The seller took no down payment, has seller financed the property to us for 30 years. And it was a property that I'm in no money out of my pocket. However, it's another park that I've taken no money into my pocket on purpose. We've been letting our property manager, Jimmy, take the excess capital that we've been making every month, $4,000 to $7,000 a month, and reinvest it back into the park over the last couple of years. Just last year, in 2023, we raised rents 20%. We were bringing in $8,000. I think we're roughly at around $11,000, something like that in rents. And that's because Jimmy is a bad. So we're gonna do a tour with Jimmy today, talking about the history, what has he worked on. And then we've got our asset manager, Bo, who runs our whole portfolio. Bo is meeting Jimmy for the first time. Even though they talk, Bo is in Miami, Jimmy is in Yuma. So I get this question all the time. How do you manage your portfolio? I go, I don't. Much more intelligent people than myself manage the portfolio. They talk to each other. Bo is here meeting with Jimmy, and we're gonna have maybe a little bit of a strategy session on what are the next steps for the park. What does the future look like? Now, are we gonna start taking profits out of this, or are we gonna keep investing and investing and investing? So we also have about a dozen people with us. Eric, show everybody who's with us. From Fiji, Buffalo, New York, and I want to encourage all of you guys to ask questions today because your questions will encourage Jimmy to tell us more stories. We have, how many residents do we have here?
We've got 32 units and about 25 or so tenants.
Okay, so we have 25 residents, 12 chickens, and about 12 people visiting the property today. So there's about 50 living souls on the property today. These chickens, who owns them?
They're yours. Free.
These are our chickens.
Part of the deal. Part of the deal.
These are our, wow, that's a rooster.
Wow.
Like they're just out here just making babies at our park.
Oh yeah.
There was a TTP student, actually one of Brent Daniel's students, comes across this property. Seller wanted too much money on a cash purchase. And Steve, who was a brand new sub-2 student at the time, was like, wait, I know that we can solve these kind of problems as long as the seller's willing to give us favorable terms. Let's offer something. And we paid a $30,000 assignment. How much did you make out of that? Did you make half?
No, I made 75% of it, so like 22.
Okay, so you made $22,000, and what I told Steve at the time is I said, let's keep buying parks here in Yuma, and we bought a second park. The second one is like 12 units, and it's at 0% seller finance. We decided, hey, it's no money down. I did have to come up with $30,000 to buy the property, meaning commission or assignment fees and closing costs. How did I pay that $30,000 back? At the time, I was heavily wholesaling, tons of wholesale. And so I just took wholesale fees from other properties and I paid that off. Very simple, nothing magical. People always ask, how do you pay your private money lenders back? Sometimes it's from cash flow. Sometimes it's from refinances. Other times it's taking profits from other properties and paying them off. But today I own this property, it cash flows, but I've never taken a dollar. So let's talk, well, we're gonna walk through with Jimmy. I'm gonna ask Jimmy, what have we done? What do we still have to do? And you guys just kind of get to be a fly on the wall throughout the rest of this video. Whatever question you guys have, please ask, okay? By the way, you guys wanna see my biggest private money lender right here? They remember you, Angela, from the Springfield videos.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. Why would you buy a mobile home park over a multifamily, like small apartment building? Are the tenants less to manage? Is it easier to manage a mobile home park? Is there any advantage to having a mobile home park over other asset types?
Oh yeah, definitely. So even though the turnover can sometimes be a little bit higher if you own the units and you're renting them out, the turnover is higher because it's a lower dollar amount for the rent. But there is a big secret that most people don't know about trailer parks, and that is there is no attached property, which means the property taxes are low.
Yes.
A 30 unit, apartment complex will have thousands and thousands of dollars in property tax. This one's probably less than 2,000.
A year?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Dude, I've got one single family property in Atlanta, Georgia, where my property taxes are $28,000 a year. Now, I remember this used to be a unit that was the office at one point?
Yeah, it was. So this is actually one of the first units that we began to do some rehab work to because it was here in the front and it actually didn't require that much work until we got into it and realized we had to replace most of the subfloor in it.
Oh, wow,
But
okay.
we also knew that we could capture the most amount of rents here because it's a larger double wide trailer. And so we were able to, it's a big 3-bedroom.
So this is a park-owned property?
This one is, yeah.
How much are we renting this for?
This one I believe rents for $850.
And that includes the house and the dirt?
It includes
Total.
the house and the space rent, yep.
Okay,
Yep.
How many trailers here are park-owned versus tenant-owned?
The majority are park-owned, and I believe we have 8 that are owned by tenants. They did. So this one we're actually gonna rent out to a person who's gonna help us. They're gonna help us keep the place clean.
Okay.
So we've hired him. He actually works for me at our AC company. So he's very handy. So he's gonna finish doing the renovations once we get power turned on. And this would normally rent for about $400. We're gonna rent it to him for $200, but his job is gonna be the trash man. He's got to go clean up and he's gotta go in between our monthly cleanups or our weekly cleanups. He's gotta go and pick up trash around the park and make sure that dumpster doesn't overflow.
So he kind of becomes the de facto daily manager of the property?
Yeah, I think so. And so we want him right here in the front so he can see who's coming in and coming out. And he's worked for me for 20 years, so he's
Think about how beneficial this is. I know nobody in this caravan, definitely not Bo. Bo lives in downtown Miami, in a high rise, right? Nobody here would ever live in a unit like this, and I get that. But what's great about mobile home parks as well is that it does provide affordable housing for people. $200 a month? That's insane. The average rent rate in the United States is near $2,000 a month. Somebody can live in this for $200 a month. Even if he wasn't our manager, helping out with the trash stuff, he'd be at $400 a month.
400, yeah. Even twice that is not that significant.
Even if you said $800 a month, I'd be like, yeah, this is actually a good deal for $800 a month. I know that's not the going rate here in Yuma, but still, nobody else. Where can you afford to live for $400 a month?
He had a unique situation. So he lives in Mexico, but he's a U.S. citizen, and this is very common in Yuma. So he lives in Mexico, And during this time of year, it's taking him 5 hours to cross the United States every day. So if you got to be at work at 6 a.m., what time are you getting in line to get through customs to get here? So he came into my office and goes, you got anything I can stay in? Because what's the cheapest thing you can do? So he had this significant problem. I said, great, if you can pick up trash here, we can have you stay here for $200.
Yeah, love that.
And now he can show up, he can sleep more.
Yeah.
So he's gonna use this as
So you got a wife and
weekday.
kids?
He does, yeah, he does.
I just want to remind you, people out there that are like so damn entitled and spoiled, people come to me and go, how do you do your work-life balance? Guys, there's people in life that are traveling 5 hours every day to work. They don't see their wife and kids. They're sending, especially people in Mexico, they're sending money back home. This guy won't see his family for 5 days a week.
Right.
And some of you guys are complaining that you guys see your kids 4 hours a day. You're like, oh, I don't know how you do it. Guys, people have been doing this for a long time. Freaking wake the hell up. That guy had, talk about sacrifice, like trying
Big
to
time.
support his family. It's a lot of sacrifice.
It's a very common story in Yuma, and the housing
So you have a
cost is
lot
so low.
of people living in Mexico traveling here daily to work.
Oh yeah.
When would you typically raise the rent on something like this? Would you say, when does something like this go from $400 to $600 a month?
I think once we complete some of the community projects that I want to do, right? We need to put some decorative rock in here. We need to paint the remainder of the units. I think once we start doing those community improvements, now people aren't living in a construction zone and a work in progress. I think then we can begin to raise up the
Could you rent this out for $600 a month in the next 18 months, 24 months, something like that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. If economy holds up, I think we can do it.
Okay, cool. I mean, here's the thing that's interesting too about mobile home parks is that this is where people run to when the economy does crash. What I want to point out to everybody watching is that a lot of people think that real estate investing is a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not, obviously. This is really good proof of that. And yes, you can get stuff for no money down, right? You got people that call me out and they go, there's no way you can buy something with no money down. No, we bought this with no money down. And what we're smart about is getting a quality, badass human being that cares. He's making decent money. You make decent money managing. And you take the management fee and then you take whatever's left over and you reinvest it back into the park. Now, while I haven't been able to pay grocery bills or cell phone bills with that money, we're building equity, right? And we're building future higher rents. We've probably doubled rents here in the last 3 years, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. I mean, easily just on what's being collected now versus then. I mean, it's unbelievable. And not only that, we're not there yet, but we're starting to get a sense of pride in the community.
Yeah.
We had some units in the back that were squatted on, and for who knows how long, months, right? Nobody said anything. But the second somebody showed up to this one, all of a sudden the community is starting to call us saying, hey, there's somebody there that's not supposed to be there. And that was shocking to us.
That's cool.
That was a paradigm shift in this neighborhood, that now somebody cares enough in this neighborhood to say, hey, those people don't belong here.
Leadership and culture comes from the top. So you coming in and revitalizing the community and putting new skirting and painting and doing all these things, people are like, wait, I live in an actually pretty cool little community. And they start taking pride. They start watching out.
And they see why their rents are going up.
Right.
They're like, okay, you're actually doing something with it.
Yeah, and for $50 or $100 extra in rent, like
Yeah.
for the quality that they have now.
Yeah.
I remember coming back here, you have piles of trash around these trailers
Yeah, it was
that
really
people
bad.
are living in
It
that.
was really bad.
It was really bad.
It was stacked up. It was stacked up really high.
So this one, you're gonna have a pseudo manager living in here. This one, you were gutting it. You found out this was a little bit better, nicer on the inside than you originally planned. So you're instead of hauling this off, we're gonna keep this one, correct?
I'm considering it. Bo and I had talked about getting it out of here because on the outside it looks like it just needs to go. And this was one of our first evictions we did in the park. The person who lived here, and the reason we evicted them is for health and safety reasons. The floor was collapsing. There was water leaks and it deteriorated the floor. And so when we finally went in and did an inspection, we said, this is not habitable. We need to remove this tenant for his safety.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to go. He wanted to just stay living here. So we actually had to go through the eviction process. It wasn't safe. It wasn't clean.
Tenant owned, park owned.
Park owned.
Okay, park owned, rent?
I think it's at $425.
Okay, $425.
Yep.
probably similar here.
Similar, very similar.
Okay, 425.
Yep.
This one on the left.
These are, the majority of these until we get to the blue one are owned by the tenants. So all of these owned by the tenants here.
Okay.
And then this is park owned. This is another one that's we're gonna rehab.
Okay.
That needs to be done. Same scenario, we found out that it just wasn't sanitary for somebody to be living in it, so we moved them out. Same with this one. We moved them out of this one. This one's actually almost
Rehab.
almost.
How old are these?
It's in progress.
These are an older style, right? These
Yeah.
are
70s.
Yep. So, but each one of them, if we can get $500 or $600 worth of rent right here through this area,
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be remarkable.
Yeah.
It'd be absolutely remarkable. And then this one, you know, rents for 800.
Oh,
I think
800.
this is, yeah, it's a larger unit. We painted it blue. We've got to redo the roof. It's now becoming.
I can see the
becoming an
bubbling
issue.
on it.
Yep. And then we've got this one here, number 12 to rehab, and number 13, we're in the process of having them go out and leave. That's a water heater, I know. It's a water heater pilot. We're in the process of having them move out and leave. So we're, because we don't think that that's sanitary for them to live in right now too.
Okay.
And then these are owned by the
tenant.
tenants. And just last week, we had one of these tenants here.
So they're just renting the dirt, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
What are they renting the dirt for?
They're renting the dirt for, I believe we're up to $275 now.
$275. Okay. I mean, they're not going anywhere
I like
either.
what they've done with the front yard.
You know what's cool about this park, though, right? Like, think about this one park. This is a retirement for somebody. This one park, no money down, no credit check, no bank, no nothing. This park, after it's paid all the seller all the way off, let's say in 20 years, right? Who's the youngest person here? Darren? Okay, Kevin. So Kevin's 22 years old. Let's say in 27 years, he's 49 years old. The only asset he ever bought was this. How much is this asset giving him after he's paid the seller off for the seller finance? How much is that spitting out to him every single month after it's all paid off? That's more than enough to retire on in one asset, right? So a lot of people, no matter what you do, whether you seller finance the units, whether you keep the units, doesn't matter. Just the lot rent on this property alone could satisfy somebody's retirement, especially if you live in the $200 unit in the front. The seller gets paid out of the tenants. The tenants pay the rent. We make, I think, like about $5,000 a month on this after we pay Jimmy. Jimmy, everybody's paid. We have about $5,000 to $7,000 to play with, okay, somewhere around there. And we pay the seller, taxes, insurance, all that kind of stuff, and renovation out of that. So all the money that we're renovating is coming from cash flow he's collecting from the tenants.
And all this was underwritten,
Yeah.
originally.
I mean, it's been a pain in the butt for Jimmy because basically what we've said is we don't want to spend money on repairs unless there's cash that came from the cash flow. And so that's why it's taken 3 years to get to where we're currently at. I could have gone to you, Angela. When did I meet you? A year and a half ago?
Yeah.
Okay, I could have gone to you a year and a half ago and said, hey, Angela, I know how rich you are. She's balling, guys, just so you know. So, like, if you guys need money, she's got plenty of it. Give me $200,000. We're going to go through and renovate, do everything to the park right now. But then I would have a $200,000 hard money loan on the property that would be something I have to now worry about and figure out, right? And we just chose to go a different route. And Yuma's kind of a sleepy town. I shouldn't say sleepy, but it's a slower growing town. So I just said, if I am going to raise money and I am going to be more aggressive, I'd rather do that in other markets, right? I don't want to do that necessarily here and like expand rapidly here. I'd rather expand rapidly in markets that are growing and expanding faster. Here, I'd rather let Yuma do what Yuma's going to do. And we can renovate slowly and we can play it slowly. So that was my decision I made at that time. But I also was a very different person 3.5 years ago when we bought this. I mean, I'm a different person every 12 months. So going back now, would I have made the same decision? Yes. I probably would have given Jimmy more money. I would have said, hey, here's 50 grand up front. Let's go and do it faster. If I had Bo 3 years ago, Bo would have almost forced me to do that. Bo would have been like, let's go get the 200 grand and let's get this done. Let's not make Jimmy go to the property, do 2 units, and then take a 6-month break, and then do 2 units, take a 6-month break. That's what Jimmy's been doing. Make sense?
Yeah.
But also as a new investor, it's perfectly okay to do that. And the problem we all have, I think, when we first start investing in real estate is we think it's a get-rich scheme because we see me on social media, Thatch Win on social media, who's another buy and hold investor, Tim Bratz. You see these guys on social media, they're like, oh my gosh, they went from here to here in like 12 months. It's like, it's not how it works. How long did you go to college to go become a math professor?
More than 10 years.
More than 10 years. So if I can wait 5 years here, I'll make more money on this park in 5 years, no money out of pocket, than somebody would make going to school for 10 years to get a job. So I actually think it's twice as fast as anybody else. And when you reframe your mind that this is actually really rapid, I'm okay with the pace that we've been following on this one. It's really interesting to think about like the quality of life, right? So like when I first started real estate investing, I would look at a property like this. I'm like, what slumlord is owning this kind of stuff? But then when you actually talk to the residents, they have nowhere else they can go for this price. Nowhere. There's nothing else. Even Section 8 stuff is more expensive than this. Like, this is the best option for a lot of people. And I believe, as sad as this might be to say, I believe that we will be a nation in 20 years that 20% of our population will be living in stuff like this. Affordability will continue to plummet. And it's people like Jimmy, myself, Bo, that are providing affordable housing like this. Like somebody coming in here going, I can live here for $700 a month. You're joking me.
With my family.
With my family.
Yes, with kids, with family, husband, wife, 2 kids.
Think about somebody that's working for, like I just saw this article, somebody worked at Google making $19 an hour. They ran the YouTube media department and they were making 19 bucks an hour. There was like 50 people on the team and they all lost their jobs. Did you see this article that popped up? Anyway, they got fired in one day because they were unionizing. It was an interesting thing, but I look at that and I'm like, if you have 2 kids, how do you survive on $19 an hour? No way. The only way you can is living in a place like us, like where we're at. Yeah. 400 bucks here, 600 bucks there, 700 bucks here. So we're providing a very quality, like is it brand new flooring? No, but is it clean? Is it freshly painted? They're going to get a new stove. They're going to be able to be in here. And man alive, for a lot of people from other countries, this is like luxury, right?
Absolutely.
Our problem is you and I are both spoiled. So spoiled. We've flipped, I don't know, thousands of homes. And there was a year back in 2015 where all I was doing was mobile homes. And, we'd find kind of the little niches that nobody knew about, like they couldn't get financing under 1976, or it wasn't affixed to the land, and so it wasn't real estate. And we'd find these little things and we'd make a lot of money flipping these properties. And what I found was I really enjoyed flipping mobile homes more than single family houses for one reason. And it was during the inspection period. People that are buying a mobile home or living in a mobile home are way less picky and way more grateful about where they're living than somebody I would do a $700,000 house in Scottsdale, and the family that's coming in is blue taping every little last thing of like, oh, there's a ding in the wall, and they're blue taping everything. And I'm like, take me back to mobile homes where people are grateful and they're not entitled, right? And people walk in here. I know it sounds surprising for people who are watching this on YouTube, but there's a family that will come in here and go, dude, not only do we have a clean place, safe place to live, we actually can save money and not worry about hemorrhaging money and borrowing money and living on credit cards. We can actually save money here and raise a family. And it's kind of cool to be able to be a part of that. Again, you own this one asset, you're done. You'll never have to work another day in your life if you own this one asset. And you get to do something cool, you get to provide housing. So hopefully you guys learned something too at home. We'll make a couple of YouTube videos following up on this. I think what we'll do is we'll do a cool little series on this over the next couple of years where we put in the tiny homes. I think tiny home for sure here, because these have to be pulled out regardless. What does this prove to you? Proves a couple of things. Number one, holy crap, it's windy in Yuma. Number two, can you do real estate with no money out of your pocket?
Yes.
Can you do real estate with no money down?
Yes.
Can you do real estate without a credit check?
Yes.
Can you own a piece of real estate and still not make money 3 years later? Yes. Now, we've chosen not to, right? We've chosen to pour our profits into this. We're building future value for our portfolio, which is really freaking cool. And we can be proud of it too. So We'll see you in the video where Bo and I spend $200,000 on tiny homes, apparently. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Cool.
We are here to talk about how to revive a dead deal. I've got Jared Morrison and David Moody with me. Good guys, real estate. They're leaders in our community and leaders in the industry. They're going to be talking about a deal, kind of a crazy deal where you worked on it a long time. So people that are asking the question of how long should I follow up on a deal before I give up? You're going to answer that. What happens when your buyer backs out? What happens when everything you planned on falls apart? Where do you get the money for a deal? How do you find these leads? All of those things and a lot more, but more importantly, how the heck can they make $90,000, just their portion, $90,000 on one deal? David Moody, Jared Morrison, thank you guys for being on the show. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
I know we got a lot of deals you guys are working. I know you're focusing on the Maricopa County market, and you guys are crushing the real estate game and scaling up your partnership, obviously. But the thing we want to talk about today is give the audience a takeaway of like, where did you guys find this deal? What were the challenges? What the heck was the seller's motivation? Why did the deal almost fall apart? How did you guys squeeze in $90,000 of profit doing a mobile home park without actually having to buy it? Let's break down the deal. Where'd you guys find the deal? Where'd it come from?
So I had listened to a podcast about buying mobile home parks, and just like right after, I just did a Google search, mobile home parks for sale in Michigan.
Come on, David, don't make it that easy, bro. The audience needs it to be more challenging than that.
It was literally that easy.
Okay.
And it came up, and it wound up being 30 minutes from my house. And I said, man, I've just got to go take a look at this and see what it is. So I went and checked it out, and it was in the pictures in bad shape, but the pictures were lying because it was in really, really bad shape. And so we went.
A lot of your guys' dating profiles out there, I can guarantee you it's the exact same thing going on.
Yeah, little misleading. And so I went and looked at it. The price and the condition of the property definitely didn't match up. It was too much money for what you were getting. It was owned at the time by a hard money lender that had repossessed it. And there's a lot of neglect, a lot of money that had not been put into the park that was supposed to have been.
Okay, so for the audience that doesn't understand this, if you're new and you didn't understand what David just said, somebody buys this property and goes and gets a hard money loan on that property. This person borrows this money from the hard money lender. Hard money lender gives them the money to go do whatever, renovations, improve the property. And the person who is the investor, I imagine, was probably going to renovate and then refinance, get the hard money lender paid off, and have a new long-term loan.
Correct.
What it sounds like happened is that buyer, the person who originally bought it, mismanaged the money, walked away from the project, and the hard money lender says, gosh, dang it. I need to freaking take over this stupid property. It's one of the rules of real estate when you guys are doing lending out there. We have another video you guys can go and watch about the top rules of lending money and all the red flags. One of them is make sure you are prepared to own the property and take it over if you ever loan money on the property. Hard money lender comes in and takes over the property, and he's obviously not a mobile home manager, right?
Yeah, and he's living in another state.
Oh my gosh. So you're already uncovering the bunnies and the pain just by driving to the property and figuring out some of the facts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you find out it's a hard money lender that owns the property. He had repossessed it. What else did you find in your drive?
The condition of the property was really bad, really bad. So there were 50 pads, but there were only 20 units. A lot of them were in really bad condition. But there were definitely some bright spots. Like, it wasn't all bad. And so I knew that there was potential, but at the time, I wasn't a part of any real estate community at all. So it was just me, the Lone Ranger out there trying to figure it out.
So this must have been in 2023?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And so I looked it all over, ran the numbers, and I said, you know what, this is just too much for one guy to handle. I don't have any experience with mobile home parks. And although I can see the potential here, it's just too risky for me to tackle it by myself.
Are you telling me that YouTube couldn't solve all your problems by itself?
Man, I watched all the YouTube videos I could find about it even then, and I really didn't get the answers I needed to make me feel good about the deal.
I love it. Now, if somebody's watching YouTube right now, I would give you guys a couple of suggestions. YouTube's going to help you be inspired, maybe take a little bit of action, do what David did, get out there, drive around, look at a property. Then the purpose is for you to get stuck and say, oh my gosh, I'm stuck. Where can I get unstuck? Well, step one would maybe be reach out to these boys. What's your guys' Instagram?
Jared Morrison, REI, and YouTube. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say my YouTube channel is the same, so should be easy to find.
Jared Morrison, REI. And David, what's yours?
My Instagram is It's David Moody, and my YouTube is David Buys Real Estate.
Hell yeah. I love that. Doesn't his accent sound like he lives 20 minutes away from a mobile home park? You know what I'm saying? So that would be step one. Go and connect with other people that are doing deals like this, right? These guys are buyers. They also can have access to a buyer's list for you. So if you guys are out there doing Google searches and go, I found a property, but I don't know what to do next, and YouTube is not answering my question, these guys can definitely help you out with that. All right, and the second thing I would do is maybe download our free wholesaling course we put down in the description down below. We'll give you guys a little bit of love, give you guys a little bit of chronological education. But at the end of the day, you're gonna need somebody. These guys can definitely help you out if you guys are stuck on a mobile home park yourself. So you're stuck in the situation, you're like, I don't have anybody, these YouTube videos are not helping me out. What was your next step?
My next step was say, there's nothing I can do with it, I'm just gonna write it off.
You don't seem like a give up kind of guy.
I really pride myself in not being, but for this one, it was just the risk that I was incurring by doing this by myself. There wasn't enough reward for me to really feel good about doing it.
Well, okay, so at this time in 2023, it turns out you did give up maybe the way you thought at the time, but obviously you guys are making money on this deal. So
Correct.
Where did it get revived? How did you guys bring this deal back?
So I went to Squad Up Summit in April of 24.
The best real estate event I've ever been to. Best real estate, best business, best finance event I've ever been to. So you went there 2024, April,
Yep,
Orlando.
correct.
Okay. And did you guys already know each other at the time?
We had never met.
Liars.
Craziest thing ever. Seriously, I wasn't going to go to Squad Up. David wasn't going to go to Squad Up. And, you know, at the time I was just looking for a way to find a way into real estate. And so I talked to my wife and I was like, if I'm going to leave my W-2 by the end of this year, I'm going to have to take massive action. And I have to go to this event. So that's why I went.
So my wife convinced me to go, long story short.
That's a good wife.
Yeah. She knew that I was passionate about following my dreams in real estate. And I had told her about the summit and who was hosting, you and Jamil. And so she asked me like 3 days later, she's like, so did you get your ticket? I was like, no, I haven't got my ticket yet. She said, go buy your ticket.
What's your wife's name?
Miranda.
Miranda, we got to put some love on your name. You're amazing, Miranda. So you get to Squad Up Summit. This is April of this year,
Yep.
right? We're going into 2025 now, but it's April of this year. You show up. Did you know anybody in the community at all?
I didn't know anybody.
Oh my gosh, you're the one person that wasn't already like connected with everybody. The cool thing about Squad Up Summit is like so much of our community goes there. It's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
So you like showed up to somebody else's family reunion
Yep.
and be like, you know what, y'all are my family.
Pretty much.
This is great. So you guys meet, how did you guys meet at Squad Up Summit?
Day one, they handed out all the name badges.
Okay.
And they had some attachments for the name badges, but there wasn't like any tables in the room and they wanted you to attach everything.
Okay.
So I'm looking like, okay, where do I set all my stuff? And all the way across the room, there was like these little desks that were on the wall. And that was like the only place. So I went over and Jared had the same idea and we're just standing there attaching our stuff and that's where we met.
Liars.
Yeah, I'm sitting there just struggling with it. I was always the kid who sucked at arts and crafts, like trying to line it up perfectly. And then David shows up. Just literally, there was, I think, 3 of us total there.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so you guys hit it off. You become friends.
Yeah.
You guys hang out for the entire event.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. We sat together. Avita in our community, she's a TC, does a phenomenal job. She was hosting a meetup nearby, and so I invited him. And yeah, we just hit it off. It was pretty crazy. But
so guys, if you're ever looking for an event to go to the event, not an event. Go to the event, which is Squad Up Summit 2025 coming up here. You guys can go to squadupsummit.com, get your tickets. We've got SVIP. You guys want to meet some cool A-list actors and some other amazing things. There's obviously those types of tickets, but you can always get general, maybe bump into your partner that's going to end up making $90,000 on the deal. So did you bring up this mobile home to Jared right away? How did this, where did this come up?
I wasn't even thinking of this park really when I went there.
Really?
Like
Okay.
I had tabled
In your
it.
mind, this park's already deleted.
It's dead.
Okay, it's dead. Okay.
And I wasn't looking for a partner. I came as a TC. I had already kind of written Wholesale off.
Wow.
So-
How crazy is this?
I know.
We just did a podcast together. Had no idea that this was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You showed up as a TC. You bump into David. You guys end up doing Wholesale. Now you're going to start scaling in Maricopa County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. So how did this conversation I mean, you guys should go over to their YouTube channels and hear more about their stories and their individual deals, of course. We could do a whole expose on who they are and all that kind of stuff, but we want to talk about the one deal. How do we revitalize this deal, bring it back from the dead, this zombie deal? When did this thing come up, and who did you bring it up to?
So it was the afternoon, I believe, of day one, and I believe it was you, Pace. We were just sitting there in class. Jared and I were sitting beside each other, and you say, if you've ever had a deal that you couldn't get done, the person that can help you get the deal done is in this room.
Oh, you were the guys I was talking to.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And so Jared was sitting right beside me, and it was like an epiphany, like a light bulb went off. And I just leaned over, I'm like, bro, I've got a mobile home park that I couldn't figure out. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. So I didn't really know what to say to people at that meetup. It was my first one in a long time.
Yeah.
And I know that everybody can speak the same language, but I wasn't really comfortable speaking it yet. And so people asked me what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm just here to find direction. And so like, that was the moment I got my direction, really. So everyone else that I met from then on, they said, hey, what are you doing in real estate? I said, I've got this mobile home park that I couldn't figure out.
So good.
And I need a partner on it.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this goes into what? What was the next step after Squat Up Summit?
So we left Squat Up Summit, and I actually found a partner at Squat Up that had committed to doing the deal.
Meaning buying it with you, they bring the money, you basically manage it, and you're part owner.
Correct.
Okay, got it. And
Correct.
you guys are doing a deal with the hard money lender?
Yes.
Okay, and the hard money lender, is he willing to sell or finance the deal to you? Like, what's the structure of the deal?
They acted like they might be willing to sell or finance,
Okay.
some of it, but they were kind of on the tricky side. Like they weren't showing all their cards, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, sounds like a hard money lender that knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we leave, and I think I have a partner for the deal. We had left when I met the potential partners. We left a session on a break, called the seller, and actually started negotiating the deal while we were there at the summit.
Okay, cool. This is why you go to Squat Up Summit, guys.
So the price originally, the first time that I went and looked at the park, was $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And at Squat Up, we actually negotiated it down to $350,000.
Dang.
Yeah. And so we're working on it and trying to figure it out. When we leave, I go back, I take a bunch of pictures, and I send them to the partners.
50 pads
Yeah.
for $350. That's a great deal.
Oh, it's really crazy.
Okay. Oh,
It gets
wait.
better.
Okay.
It gets better. So I call them up, and they said, you know what? Florida, they lived in Florida. They said, Florida's a long ways from Michigan. We're trying to make progress in other areas of our business. They kind of backpedaled a little bit and said, I don't think this is going to be for us. And so like I'd been on this huge high leaving Squat Up,
Yep.
and then all my dreams got crashed again. But luckily, I met a lot of people at Squat Up. There's just, what were there, like 3,500, 4,000?
No, we'll have the biggest real estate event that anybody's ran in our industry has been about 2,800.
Okay.
We were at 2,000. Squat Up Summit 2025 will be 3,500.
Okay.
We will be the biggest real estate event that's ever happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was big. There were people everywhere. And the noise level was just like deafening. There were so many people talking about real estate. So anyway, I met a lot of people, and the Pickels are actually in Michigan.
Yep.
And I met them there. And John had been up on stage.
Shout out to John and Justin, the Pickels.
Yeah. And whenever he came up on stage and you talked about how many deals he had done, he was definitely on my list. So like, I'm going to meet that guy before I leave. And so I did. When the deal fell through, I'd already been talking to John. They were really welcoming, invited me to the meetups and everything. And we just started talking about this park. And I told him I'd lost my partners. He's like, well, let's take a look at it. And so we joined forces because they do a lot of dispo. And he said, hey, we'll help you dispo the deal. We'll just do a JV on it, joint venture, and we'll go 50-50. We'll dispo the deal. So that's the direction that we went. Well, it stretched on with so many problems with the park. Prospective buyers looking at it needed due diligence time, understandably.
Yeah.
But you're also missing. What ended up happening after Squat Up is we had partnered on the wholesale part, but I wasn't even a part of the mobile home park at all. That was like a separate thing, understood. But then when his partners bailed, the deal was kind of dead for a couple weeks, and we were just like gonna move on with wholesaling. And so I remember having this conversation of like, what are we gonna do with this mobile home park? Like, you have this deal, we just need to figure out how to buy it.
Yeah.
And so he called and renegotiated, and tell him what you got it for that time.
Was that when we renegotiated?
Yeah, that was before that we had reached out to John about selling it. We hadn't actually had it under contract, but then we called together, and what'd you end up getting it for?
So this price drop went from 350 down to 200.
Just one phone call.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And
Why didn't I buy this deal? Gosh dang.
we pitched
50
it.
pads
We pitched it.
to Bo.
Yeah.
It's probably maybe just the area we don't buy in.
Yeah.
My gosh, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
200 grand for 50 pads?
We're not done yet.
Okay. Dang.
And so we get it under contract at 200, and we just couldn't get it the wholesale process done. We couldn't wholesale it in the amount of time that we had. So time's running out, but we know it's a deal. Like, everybody involved knows it's a deal, and we're getting to the point that there's just no way to extend the contract any longer. The seller is really starting to play hardball with us. And so we actually went out of contract for about a week?
Yeah.
And so in that period of time, we'd had a really intense conversation with the seller, and he wound up hanging up on us.
Oh, yes.
And
He's like, I give you a $300,000 discount and you still can't perform?
yeah.
Click.
Yeah. So I said, you know what? I'm not calling him back. I said, I know he doesn't have any other buyers. There's nobody knocking on the door of this thing. They didn't know how to market it.
Right.
And so.
And he's busy with his other business.
Right. And I said, you know what? We're just going to wait on this guy. And so we waited a week, and he called me. And so when he called me, I knew that, my suspicions were confirmed that he doesn't have any other potential buyers here. And so he's like, so what are you going to do at the park? I said, looking it all over, I said, really, there's just so much that has to be done, and it's so risky. I said, I think that we're probably just going to have to go a little lower on it.
Wow.
And he said, okay, what are you thinking? Well, I'd already told Jared, I said, look, I don't think price is the issue here. It's really not price. The guy needed to feel like he got some kind of win out of this. And so I said, really, I feel like the price is 150. And he kind of choked. And then he starts trying to work us up, trying to have equity in the deal, whatever. And we wound up, our final negotiated price was $155,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do we do with the deal?
So then that's where the Piquels came in. They went and found money, hard money on our side to buy the deal. And shout out to Colin Yeep and Kyle Huber because they were our connectors for the money on the deal.
Kyle Huber and Colin Yepp are great guys.
Yeah.
Awesome people in the community.
And so they found us the money to take it down. We wound up taking it down. I'm still shopping. At that point, I was still shopping for an end buyer. And in the meantime, we found the perfect buyer. It was somebody that was already in the deal. Justin Piquel decided that he wanted to just own the park himself. And so I had found a buyer, and the buyer was serious and coming to the table. And the Piquels said, you know what, we're just going to buy out your part of the partnership.
Okay, love it. And what did you guys make on the deal?
So a total is 90,000.
$90,000. If you had to guess how many phone calls you made to the seller over that time frame, how many calls do you think you made?
I probably had 15 calls with the seller.
That's it? Think about how many calls you made and then divide that into $90,000. How much did you get paid per call? What'd you get paid? Do the math for me. The math has got to be 15,000 or 15 calls. $6,000 per call.
Yeah.
Not per hour, per call.
Makes me want to get my phone out.
It makes you want to get your phone out. You're like, dude, that thing's going to make me $6,000 per call. Let's go. How many times can I get on the phone call? Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if I actually took every deal I've ever done, divided it into how many calls it took for me to get that deal done, and then did a total of every single time I pick up my phone? Yes, no, maybe, call me next week, whatever the answer is. I take all of those calls, I divide it into the amount of money I've made in this business. Why am I doing anything else but being on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
100%.
Wow, $6,000 being on the phone 15 times.
Yeah.
So you guys get bought out on this deal. Justin's going to hold it, put a bunch of money into it. I bet you the renovation on that thing is going to be several $100,000.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that
he'll
was
have to refinance. He'll have to do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that was really the interesting thing too, because it was like, how can I add value? Because I'm living in Arizona, like I can't go visit the park. But with my accounting background, underwrote the deal, created the pitch deck.
Yes.
And yeah, we broke it out into 2 phases of first fixing up the 12 units that were unlivable, and then at that point refinancing, and then getting the construction loan to bring in the other 30 units.
Wow. Okay. Now, here's what I feel bad about. I look at the audience, and you guys know better, but like going back on what we think about, if you guys were documenting every one of those calls along the way, getting hung up on.
I think I have that one actually.
Oh my gosh. Like, why is this not on your YouTube channel? Yeah. Like, think about if you took all 15 calls, you're like, here's how I made 90 grand. Here's all 15 calls. Each one of these calls was worth $6,000 is what I made. That's gold for somebody else on YouTube to be able to go, where'd the lead come from? Where was the next call? What was this? You dropping the guy from 500 to 300, 300 to 155, or 300 to 200, and then dropping from 200 to 150, then him bumping you to 155. Like, all of those conversations chronologically in a series of videos. Oh my gosh, it's so valuable. You guys wish you could jump in a time machine and go record all of that?
100%.
Oh my gosh. Like, think about all the content you're already creating. The difference is you're just not turning on the camera. Oh my gosh, guys. Like, billions of dollars worth of content in this one deal.
Wow.
What would you say are the most valuable lessons you learned on this particular deal?
Go ahead, Jerry.
I'd say the first one is the community. I mean, everyone, has unique skills that they have. And again, with me, it was like, what am I going to do in this deal? Like, I'm not even there. But I had a set of skills that no one else had on our team. And it's really just about putting it out there and finding the people who can fit the rest of the puzzle together.
I love that you also didn't just sit there and go, all right, well, that's David's deal, and I'm not going to help out, right? And I like that probably in some company meetings, you guys are sitting there talking about your leads. You're like, well, David, you got this deal over here. Like, what are we going to do about it, right? You didn't let it die either. You as a good partner, like, hey, what about this? What about this? Encouraging him.
For sure.
Right? And gosh, like, think about how simple this was. Google search. Other people. That's all you needed.
That was it.
Google search and other people. Google search and other people.
No money out of our pocket.
No.
To make 90,000.
My gosh. Okay. The other thing I took away from this was you did not give up. In the back of your mind, this thing was like silently gnawing at you.
Yes.
And you're like, hold on. I got these brothers in arms. I'm going to see what they can come up with and what they can come up with, and you get your answer. Isn't it crazy that the answer to your problem is not a spreadsheet?
Yeah.
It's another human being that was already doing the deal. It's people. Freaking weird. We don't want that to be the answer, but that's the answer.
Yeah.
My gosh, guys. So what are we going to do on our YouTube channel a little bit different? That's my takeaway right now.
Yeah. No, I mean,
post the stuff.
Yeah, post the stuff.
To be fair, when we closed on the mobile home park,
Yeah.
I flew out there and we shot a bunch of content. So,
But you didn't post it.
We're still editing it.
He's still editing it, guys. Still editing it. So here's what I would do. I would map these things out. Like, think about how you were when you were first starting out, especially David's not that long ago. Your mind would have been like, well, I got stuck here, and then do a video of like, hey, here were my 5 things I did when I was stuck. This was the one that ended up being the solution. Here's a 10-minute video on how that ended up helping. Okay, I got stuck again. Here's the 5 things I went to as a solution. Here's the one that actually worked. You do that in a series, in a compound. My gosh, people would download that whole series all day long, come out, learn from you guys for a couple of days. Oh my gosh, guys. That's my takeaway. The 90 grand is nice, but think if you had harnessed that whole entire story and you put it out there and you got people's emails and people are like, oh my gosh, hey, Jared, David, I want to go and learn from you guys in person. Like, easily, you guys could have gotten a lot of people that you would have done this. If you watch somebody's series and you're like, I want to go learn from that person, you would have gotten in that room.
Yeah.
So boys, let's get your YouTube channel going again. What's Jared Morrison, REI on YouTube. And what's your YouTube again?
David Buys Real Estate.
How the hell did you get that? David Buys Real Estate. It seems like 10,000 people would have bought that thing.
I got it.
You got it. David Buys Real Estate on YouTube, guys. If you guys want to meet either one of these boys, you can always Instagram, DM them. You can go over to their YouTube, listen to their individual stories. You can also meet them at Squat Up Summit 2025. Go to Squat Up Summit 2025. Actually, just squatupsummit.com. We got some epic heavy hitter speakers coming to the lineup. But at the end of the day, the speakers are great, but it's the partnerships you make.
It's the people.
And the courage that you take to go and talk to another dude and go, hey man, let's collaborate, let's sit next to each other and then partner together. Now you guys are working a wholesale business in Arizona and you're gonna at some point go nationwide, I imagine. And you'll start building and compounding and getting into multifamily and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Man,
That's the dream.
You better be documenting this journey. I want to see every freaking episode. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
All right, boys. Thank you for coming on the show today. Guys, go and follow their YouTube. Go and follow their Instagram. Love on them. Send them messages. And tell his wife how badass she is that she told him, go get your ticket to Squat Up Summit 2025. We'll see you guys there.
We are on site today. We're going to stop by and look at 3 different homes. John, what's the name of your guys' company?
Manufactured Homes of Arizona.
Manufactured Homes of Arizona. Do you guys have a website or an Instagram yet?
You know, we have an Instagram and website's being worked on. We're relatively new, so.
Cool. So we're on site here in Whitman, Arizona. John and I are partners on a development that's doing 49 lots. Actually, 2 of those I think are non-developable. Like, we can't develop them, right?
Yeah, they're in a wash, so no way we can ever develop on those for sure.
What's our plan on those 2?
Maybe sell them to the people that live next door.
Cool. So guys, we have 2 lots out of the 49 that are literally right next to a wash. We already talked to one of the neighbors and she said she was interested. I don't know about the other one. Have we reached out to them at all?
We have not yet, no. But
so we're gonna end up developing 47 total manufactured homes here, and here is delivery number 3. John, tell us about the state it's in right now and what happens. Like, obviously it looks like there's 2 pieces to the home right now.
yeah, so this is a Cavco Durango. It's obviously a double wide. It's around 1,450 square feet. Currently right now, it's just been delivered 2 days ago.
Nice.
So the next step is to seam them up and merge them together. And so
for the people that don't know, Cavco Durango means what?
So Cavco Durango is a manufacturer here in Arizona.
So Cavco's the mother company and Durango's like a subsidiary?
Exactly. So Cavco has 2 plants in Arizona, Cavco Durango and Cavco West.
Got it.
This is a Cavco Durango.
And why did we choose to go with Cavco Durango? Was the other plant overwhelmed or what was going on?
Well, it's just, timing's a big thing. Cavco West is a little bit longer out than Cavco Durango.
Okay.
And what we found with Cavco Durango is they've got some better design features as well.
Got it. So this one just got delivered 2 days ago. We're gonna look at 2 other houses. One of them just got seamed up, and then another one basically has been there for probably a month or so.
About a month, yeah. Yep.
And I already see we'll go over there and take a look at those. But a couple questions I think people are gonna wanna know right off the top of your head. How long did it take, the day that we ordered this manufactured home through you guys, how long did it take to be delivered?
So we got lucky with a bunch of these because Durango had a cancellation of around 10 homes in December.
Nice.
So they called us and they said, would you guys like all 10? And we scrambled to make it happen, but we took all 10. And so this is literally about 45 days, 60 days from when.
Which is not typical.
Not typical. Typically we're 3 to 4 months at least out before from ordering to delivery.
Love it. Okay, so as we walk down the road, John, I want to ask,
Out of 49 lots that we're doing, why did we choose this road to start?
Well, because we had numerous lots in a row. We wanted to make this the nicest road in the neighborhood with the nicest homes. And so we figured we'd start here because we're going to use 2 of these or maybe 3 as models. Obviously we'll sell them right away if we have to, but we wanted to get the first 3 up and set so that we could use those as models.
John, tell us about, like, our house is going to be the nicest in the neighborhood. They're going to be the biggest. What is going to stand out about our project?
So they're for sure going to be the nicest and the newest. And so this manufactured home community has been here since got developed in the late 70s.
Nice.
Kind of was stagnant for the last, let's say, 10 years. There's a lot of homes in here that have been built recently or remodeled. And so we will have for sure the nicest and newest houses in this neighborhood.
Cool. So John was not only instrumental in delivering the manufactured homes, but he was also one of the key factors of why we chose this road. So we'll get down here in a little bit, but there's a couple of newer homes, especially our neighbor, really nice homes. We're close to some really good comps in the area. What are we gonna sell these first ones for? 179?
Yep, we're on 179.
So 179, and we'll go to the whiteboard today and we'll break down the cost of everything and how much money we're gonna make on all 47 of the lots that we actually can put manufactured homes on. But we're at our second house. But what's really interesting is in front of this house, I'm gonna have John kind of walk out a little bit and explain to you what's going on with the utilities.
Sure. So in this development, there's a water company. So a private water company supplies water. The water line comes right through here. And as you can see, there's 2 new water meters already set for this lot and for this lot. Another water meter set over here. We've also got electric. So electric is the transformers right across the street. So they've already dug the trench and they've already run electric lines to that junction box and then down to all of our properties. And we've got, you'll see on the first property we put down, they've already got the pedestal up for the electric. So this is where it all starts.
This second home, I was here a week ago,
Yeah.
and this wasn't here.
You're right.
So it's interesting, and I don't know if it's a water thing or what, but when I came out here, this lot was empty. That home was here, still not seamed together.
Right.
And then we show up today, and I'm like, wow, there's another home that's just getting seamed
Right.
together.
Right. These things will show up out of nowhere. So we've got 7 of these currently that we've taken from the manufacturer's plant.
Mm-hmm.
They're now sitting in storage, just waiting for us to set them up here at the lot. And so the construction company is working on clearing the lots, making sure that we've got grading and drainage figured out, and then they're going to set them. So these 3 are ready to rock and roll, and the permits are ready, so that's why they've been set and ready to move. Now, we had a ton of rain last night,
right,
which never happens here, right? So as you can see, they're probably not going to be working today because it just wouldn't work out.
Too bogged down.
Yeah, yep.
So what's interesting, and a lot of people don't really realize this and why it's important to choose the right dealer, is that you've been coordinating with the contractor here.
Correct. So,
and not just because you're a partner on the project, but because that's something that you're willing to do to help people when people are buying stuff from you.
100%. So I got in this business because I've been lending on manufactured homes for the last 25 years. And so I was also born in a single wide trailer. And so it's near and dear to my heart, affordable housing. And so one of the things that I said as I was continually lending on and helping people get in the homes, and a lot of times with affordable housing, first-time home buyers will use an FHA loan or a VA loan or a USDA loan to buy one of these homes once they're already set. And so I just said the next step for me was to become a dealer, to really get out there and help people get these homes, help them get them set, and then move from there. So it's just
that's a really good point. A lot of people ask, why are you guys doing a project way out in Whitman? And I said, it's like kind of like the last frontier as far as affordable housing goes.
You're right.
Where else can you get a 1,500 square foot house for under $200,000?
You're exactly right. And you know, I also have set some homes recently here in Whitman.
Yeah, you had a killer project right down the road.
100%, we still do. And so, you know, what we found is that you're exactly right, that there is the affordability, there's not a lot of affordability out there right now. So people are willing to drive for affordability.
Right.
And you know, with the 303 and the 60 right here, this is only about 6 miles north of that.
Right.
And people want to be sometimes out in where there's no street lights. And so this has been, we feel it's gonna be a really good project.
And these houses sell really fast. Obviously, we haven't sold our first one here yet because we're just getting started on probably what's gonna be a year-long or maybe 18-month project.
Right.
But your project over there, how fast did that deal sell?
We listed it on a Tuesday. It was under contract by Wednesday afternoon.
Love it. So
yeah.
Hot. And it's Most people in the metro area would be like, dude, that's in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And you sold in 24 hours.
We did. And there's what we found was there's a pent up demand right now, especially out here. And you know, with a nice manufactured homes like these are, where they're when we walk in them, you'll see. I mean, it's just like a regular stick built home.
So I had an investor drive out here with me a week ago when I checked on it. Lives in this like palatial apartment in Scottsdale, and I come out here and he walks in. He goes, "This is nicer than my Scottsdale apartment."
Yep.
It is interesting how nice they are. So,
Yeah.
John brought up a good point. These homes come when they come, right? The manufacturers are so overwhelmed, and whenever they have an opportunity to shell one out or whatever, they're gonna send them. And so we have to be ready to handle those and manage that. And that's what John does really, really well for us. I've got a project he's not a partner on with me in Mesa. He calls me, he makes sure that my stuff is set up, he communicates with my contractor, super helpful. These are the kind of people you wanna do business with, not only as a partner, but just as a supplier of the product. So this one, it's really interesting. Like, why would she, our contractor, why would she seam this up before she seamed that one up?
It's just based on timing. This one's ready to go. The permits are ready. We had to move this house, so we set it on one lot, and unfortunately, that lot, once we got it from the manufacturer, it was about 6 inches too wide.
Oh my gosh!
And
wow.
so, based on the permit, so we had to move that house to a different lot. Look, sometimes that happens, and you know, this isn't a perfect science, as you know, and so occasionally you got to kind of bob and weave, and we made that work.
Love it.
So, all right, so I'm going to show you all the steps when you're looking for a project for manufactured homes. The first step is you have to find the lot, and so here's a perfect example of a lot that we have found. We have not cleared the lot yet, and so the first step is, because these lots all need septic. We don't have city sewer here, so we need septic. So the first step is to do our perk holes, so our soil testing. And so, as you can see, they've already dug the soil tests. They've already gone way down there to make sure that this thing will perk right. And so these are 18-foot holes, and that's exactly what they have to do. So this is the first step when you find a lot. All right, so in conjunction with that first step we just saw with the perk holes and the soil testing, we also have our permits all in. So the permits are in with the county, and most of these lots have already been approved to set the homes. So this is a piece of property here. This lot has already had the perk test done. It's already been cleared, and this one's ready for the next house. Once they dig out where the house will be, because we do all in-ground sets. And so the difference in manufactured homes, you can do an above-ground set, which we'll try to find something in the neighborhood for you to look at, or in-ground sets. And in-ground sets to us are a way better way to install the home, because it just looks more like a regular home, looks more like a stick-built house. And so we do almost all of our manufactured homes in in-ground sets. So the next step is they've got to dig out the section of the ground where the home is going to sit. And so consider we do an in-ground set, they have to be able to dig into the property, dig into the land, so that they can then backfill and make it look like it's a stick-built home with a foundation. And so here's a perfect example of a property where the house has just been delivered. As you can see from this, it's been dug out, and that's exactly where the house now sits. They put posts on each end to show the corners of the home, and that's where the house starts. And these two, obviously it's double wide. They've both come separately, and as you can see, they have not been married yet. They've not been merged yet. And so this is the perfect example of the next step of what we do. Once they have set the house, before they now merge the house. And so, as you can see, they've merged the house here, and they also put the frame on post and beam, or post and pillars. And so the post and pillars are already in. The house is now set on those post and pillars, and it's been merged together. And so, so now the next step after this is we'll then start building the stem wall around the entire property.
What is a stem wall?
Stem wall is cement block that's on footers, and that acts as the foundation for the home, which is also approved for FHA, VA, USDA financing as well. All right, so on our way to the next step, let me introduce my partner in life and my partner in the business. This is my beautiful wife, Kim, And Kim helps us every day at Manufactured Homes of Arizona to work on the design, to help with the ordering. So she's kind of the inside person that makes sure that that guys like me that are out there selling don't mess up. So the next step is once the house has been set, the post and pillars have been put in. As you can see, they're starting to dig the stem wall or the footer of the stem wall, and so that's the next step. Once the footer's dug and the rebar's put in, then what they do is they inspect that. Once that's inspected, then they can start laying the cinder block wall to build the stem wall. All right, for the next step, we're gonna head inside and see what a house looks like once it's just been merged together. All right, guys, so now we're in one of the final steps, which is when the house has been merged together. There's still quite a bit to do inside, but most of it is cosmetic and touch-up work. So on the inside, we have to do the merging of the drywall. We have to touch up any drywalls. We have to touch up the paint. We have to lay the carpet, and so that's kind of next steps on the inside. A big part of the home itself is to make sure that you have the right design. And so I'm going to pass it off to Kim because she runs design for us, and she's going to kind of show you your design options as it relates to the interior and even the exterior of the home. Kim?
Hi guys, my name's Kim. To start out with the design process, I get the floor plan from the guys once they've done their site plans, and I pick out a great floor plan for the lot. Once I have the floor plan, I start to choose my options, and I start out with paint, and I'm gonna bring you guys over here. And for this specific home, I have the options laid out over here, but this right here, this whole island right now is some of your options when you choose for a home. You have, 6 options for cabinetry color. You have unlimited flooring options. You have all these tile options. You can do full tile backsplashes. You can do full tile backsplashes in your showers and your bathroom sinks. Countertops, you can do quartz, or in this home we did laminate. It looks like granite, but it's not. So in this home, we actually chose to do hardwood cabinetry, and it gives it that upscale look. And you get the shaker style cabinetry, and then you can choose any color. That upgrade is less than $1,000, and it makes a world of a difference. This home also comes with, this actual series is called the Weston Porch Series, and it comes with a ton of upgrades. So you get more bang for your buck in this specific series. And then the last part of picking options for the home is your exterior colors, which is going to be your shingles and your paint colors. And in this series, you have to choose 3 colors. You choose an accent color, a base color, and then a trim color. And for this home, I chose these 3 colors. The best part of this whole entire process is when your home gets delivered and you get to walk through it for the first time. And this was, on this series, this was my first home, and I was blown away. I was blown away how beautiful it looks with the minimum options. And that's what's great about mobile homes, is it's cheaper and they look amazing. So now I'm gonna kick it back to the guys so they can finish it off.
They say, how do you finance this? The way that we did it on this project is we brought an amazing partner who's really well known in town. He's been, how long have you been in real estate, Chris?
Since 99.
Since 99, guys. I was still trying to kiss my first girl in high school in 1999. So Chris has been crushing it in real estate for a very long time, very well known in Arizona. He will fund projects like this. So if you guys have deals to underwrite land, send them to John or send them to Chris. Also, Chris will fund a project like this, and why it's important to have a guy like Chris is, tell us about the time where the manufacturer changed up on us and we had to get 10 homes funded right away.
Yeah, so our houses were supposed to come in over the next 5 months. And so all 10 houses over the next 5 months kind of staged. Mm-hmm. Well, they called us and said they had a cancellation of 9 homes. and they asked us if, I'm sorry, 7 homes, and they asked us if we wanted them all. And so if we would have said no, we would have waited another 4, 5, or 6 months to get all of them in. And so because of the great relationship we have with Chris, we called Chris right away and said, hey man, you ready to rock on this deal? And he said yes, and we pulled the trigger, and the houses have now all been delivered. So that cut our time on this project, which we all know is important in real estate. It cut our time from 6, 7, 8 months of even getting all the houses here. Now they're all ready to go, and we just have to get them delivered to the.
Chris, how were you and your partner Tim Mudd able to do that? Like, how do you guys have that ability? Because you saved this project a lot of time.
Well, it's not all our money. It's just great relationships over 20 years. When you've never lost an investor a red penny, then you can make those calls and get the money wired in, and it's actually, and some of those contacts are him. I mean, he's had money with me before, so it just making sure that you always do it right helps out.
So that's a really powerful point for a lot of people that say, I can't do a deal, I'm afraid to jump in because I don't have money or I don't have the knowledge or experience. Guys, I don't have the money either, but I have a friend, Chris, who we've been partnered on dozens and dozens of projects in the last couple of years and worked really well. I can call him, and he's the guy that has the connections. Same thing with you, is if I have a question about, I have a piece of dirt and I don't know how to value this, I don't go read a book, I don't watch a YouTube channel, I call John or I call Chris. So guys, the power of relationships is super, super important, and I would reach out to Chris Iman. What's the name of your company, Chris, and how can people get a hold of you?
SWH Funding. It's just swhfunding.com.
Is the best way to get a hold of you to fund a project like this or other, fix and flips around town, your cell phone?
Yes, my cell phone or my email, Chris at Sell Wholesale Houses.
So guys, we'll be out here multiple times. We're going to post this on YouTube. We're going to have it on Instagram, and primarily it's going to help you guys educate some of the people who are going to be coming to you, like, why are you doing this, and what more do you provide more than just beautiful faces, right? So we'll be out here a lot more, guys. So ask any questions you have, and we'll be happy to answer them the next month that we come out here and make some videos. All right, guys, so hopefully that helps you understand how a project is ran, who's in charge, what everybody's job is, and how long it takes to do a big project like this. But when you have multiple hands helping getting the project done, it gets really easy. Let's take a look at the numbers and how this all breaks down. So we got the land. Where did that come from? It came from Jesse, Annie, Evo. They contracted with the seller, and we bought 47 lots at $16,000 a piece. With permits, install, foundation, and septic, that adds another 38 grand. I know it sounds crazy, but people have no idea how much those things cost. But that portion of 38 grand, that's before we even get to the house. Now the house itself, 1,400 square foot, 3-bed, 2-bath home, $58,000. Again, we're buying from John, getting direct from the manufacturer and saving a lot of money there. Our air conditioning and landscape, people don't understand this, but manufactured homes do not come with landscape, and they don't come with air conditioning units, believe it or not. That is another $5,000 we have pumped into there. The cost to sell, we got to pay a real estate agent on the back end. Our real estate agent is my wife, Laura, and she flat fees $1,000 per manufactured house. So we'll save a lot of money there. That's 7 grand. Then we have miscellaneous costs like carry costs, closing costs, maybe buyer concessions, stuff like that, $8,000. That is a total of $134,000 per unit. So check this out, guys. We sell these bad boys for $179. We're already getting massive interest on this. I think over the next year, we'll be able to push this to $189 as we set comps in the neighborhood. However, let's just stick to $179. We took out our cost to sell of $134, and we're back to here, which is a profit of $45,000 after all of our costs are considered. At 47 lots, that is $2.1 million in the course of 18 months for the partnership. That's profitability. Now, we have 2 weird ass lots that are non-doable. They're too skinny, they're too small. One of them is actually right next to a riverbank, and so we can't build on it. So we're just gonna offload those and make $1,000 per lot by selling them to the neighbors. So guys, this is a really cool project. But we have other projects as well that are smaller that make really good money that are easy. Manufactured housing is super easy. It's easier than stick build. It's easier than flips. It is the easiest way to get into this game. So if you guys have questions, comments, please leave them below. Somebody on my team will answer. And as always, subscribe, and click on the bell for notifications for the next real deal.
Hey everybody, welcome to Sunday service. Here we are, 112 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona, and the only place that's hotter than Phoenix, Arizona is Yuma, Arizona. That place is like the devil's armpit. It is so hot, and Steve Crawford, my guest today, is not only a guest of mine, he's also somebody I've done deals with. He is an interesting guest you need to know because he is the perfect example of not overthinking anything when you get into real estate. Today is Sunday, June 13th. Here we are halfway through the freaking year. You guys don't have any more time to waste. You don't have any more time to waste. I promise you that in 5.5, 6 months, it's going to be Christmas time and this year is going to be over. You have no time. So listen today. Steve is going to give you guys some good tips, but I want to kind of intro him a little bit before he tells you a little bit about his own story. And one of my favorite things about Steve is how Steve got into this game. Okay. Now, Steve is, I think, frozen. So I'll kick him off for a minute, but I'll intro him while you guys, while we wait for him to come back in here. Okay. So check this out. The guest today, his name is Steve Crawford. Steve, jump back in here. You're using your phone, I think. He doesn't have a computer. This guy is very basic. He's amazing. Something you need to understand is that a year ago, Steve Crawford was Googling how to get rich. Okay. He literally was bypassed at his job down in Yuma, Arizona. He was promised a raise by his boss. His boss did not give him that raise. And in fact, he bypassed him and gave somebody else the promotion, gave somebody else the raise. And that night, Steve Crawford went home and he Googled on his phone, because you guys can tell he doesn't even have a laptop. Steve Crawford Googles how to get rich. Okay, Steve, isn't that right? That's how you got into real estate, is you Googled how to get rich?
Yeah, that's right. I had a tip with my boss and got frustrated. And while I was at work, I started to Google how to get rich. I did not want to work for anybody anymore.
So he Googles how to get rich. And what did Google tell you to do, Steve?
Real estate. Said most people will get rich in real estate. So I started to investigate how to get into real estate without any money, because I didn't have any.
So you Google how to get into real estate. So he Googles how to get rich. And then the next thing Google tells him is get into real estate. So he Googles how to get into real estate.
Yeah.
And what did you find? What kind of things did you find?
Well, I like a lot of talk about like the Burr method, house hacking, and all those things, but like you still needed money. So
you need money, you need credit, you need lenders, you need deals at like a super, super deep discount, right? In order for the Burr method to work. And even with the Burr method, you have to have a lot of money up front. Even if you get your money back after a refinance, you still have to have a lot of money up front. So you're sitting there saying, man, I'm a pilot at a crop dusting farm. Right. I don't have a ton of money to get into this game. So you Googled how to get rich in real estate without any money.
Right. And then that led me to wholesaling.
Ooh, all right. So it led you to wholesaling. What'd you find on Google? What did Google tell you about wholesaling?
Not a whole lot. Like it was weird because the way it's described to somebody who doesn't know anything about real estate, it doesn't seem like it's a real thing. It actually seems kind of fake. So I started to investigate it like on YouTube, and there'd be people who put out videos, but it'd only be bits and pieces, and that's like. I kept looking and looking for like the explanation of how these guys were actually doing it. I could never find it. And then I found the Steve Trang podcast where he interviews people and goes through exactly how they figured out how to do it.
It's interesting. Steve Trang, still to this day, I get text message. I got a text message today. Okay. So Steve Googles how to get rich. Google tells him, get into real estate. He then Googles how to get into real estate. He kept finding the Burr method and all these other things that cost a ton of money. So he happens upon Steve Trang's podcast, which I still to this day think is one of the best podcasts of all time, because it's an hour and a half long of people telling you their journey, how they got their first deal, what does their business look like, how much money are they generating. And Steve does a really phenomenal job interviewing these people, right?
I'll add one thing right there.
Yeah.
Like the best part, if you don't know anything about real estate too, is when he says, what would you do if you only had $500? When he asks people that question and you were going to start out, and he lets them give an explanation of what they would spend that money on and how they get down. That was like it right there too. That was awesome.
So you saw like, who were like your top 3 or 4 people you enjoyed watching?
Oh man. I like, there's like a guy that I like who talked about TV, and he's kind of like a sales coach. His name's Dan. I don't know. I know this isn't how you pronounce his last name, but it's spelled Brault. Dan Bro.
Oh yeah, Dan Bro. It's actually Bro. B-R-O is how you pronounce it. Dan Bro.
Yeah, Dan Bro.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. Obviously yours, because that's the that's
well,
the one
throw mine to the side. I'm the undefeated champion on Steve Trang's podcast, so let's just throw that to the side.
Right, and then I agree to that. No, like I don't know, man. Like,
what about did you see Jerry Norton and all that stuff?
Yeah, you know what? I follow Jerry Norton's YouTube channel also, and I watch his YouTube content, but I've never saw his interview.
Oh God. Okay. For some reason I thought you saw Jerry Norton's. Guys, does everybody want to do me a favor? I think everybody on here should do me a favor. We're gonna get everybody to do something for me. Steve Trang, Pace, Morby. Let's do a little. Let's see, 20. I have 2 on here. One's 20,000 and the other one's 26,000. So the first one you saw, I think, I don't remember, but let's pull this up real quick. I have 3 I've done on Steve's, but let's see, window. There we go. No, that's not it. Hold on, I gotta switch this out. Here we go. So I've done 3 on Steve's, but I want to do a 3rd. And so I want you guys to help me get on Steve Trang's podcast a 3rd time. So check this out. I'll give you guys one of them. These are I've done a bunch with Steve, obviously. As you can see, Steve and I have done a bunch of stuff together. But do you remember which one you saw, Steve? Was it the one about the $20,000 a month in cash flow in just 4 months, or was it the...
No, yeah, it's that one, Pace. The $20,000 in cash flow. That was the first one I watched.
Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to share that, have everybody share, make a comment here. I want everybody to go on this one and make a comment. And I want everybody to say the same thing. Go on there and say, have Pace come back. Okay. And I want Steve to be like, what the hell? So guys, go there, like that video, and make a comment down below. Like we have 200 people watching right now. We should have 200 comments. Go to that YouTube channel and go on and make a comment and say, Steve, have Pace come back. Okay. And let's see if we can get Pace to come back. Because this is what happens. Steve Crawford, the gentleman on the screen, sees that podcast. He joins my mentorship, sub2.com.
Right.
And within a couple of weeks, maybe 30 days, you get a house under contract in Yuma, Arizona.
Yes.
How did you get that house under contract? And we're going to talk about your first deal. How did you get that first one under contract?
Networking in sub 2. I talked to another guy who was in sub 2 who had a lead in Yuma, and he didn't know what to do with it. And he said that they were open to terms, and that was it. So he gave me the number and that they were open to terms, and I called the lady and, opened up a conversation with her about what she was willing to do.
So let's go through that deal. Just top level, like high level. I kind of forget the deal. You bought it you gave her some money down. I know you had a lender that came in and helped you out, but how much did you give her down?
$20,000.
Okay. You gave her $20,000 down. And then you had closing costs, and then there was a little bit of renovation. You
Right.
probably had another miscellaneous like $7,000 to $10,000, something like that, right?
Right.
And then you had a private lender. I helped you out with the private lender.
Yes.
So we helped you find a private lender for that $30,000, and you make a payment to that private lender, I think for like $250 a month or something like that.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So your purchase price with the seller was what? Do you remember?
120.
Just 120.
Yes.
So you only owe her $100,000 now.
Right.
How much is that house now worth since you bought it a year ago during COVID?
I don't know. I know I could sell it for probably 150.
Okay, so you've made 30 grand on it in appreciation, which is cool. But the coolest thing about this deal is I think she gave it to you at 0% seller finance, right?
That is the best thing, yes.
Okay, so you're paying no interest on this. So the seller, for everybody that's just learning this, seller sells Steve the property for $120,000. She becomes the bank. So he makes a payment to her every single month, but his payment has no interest in it. So it pays down every single month. Steve is getting that 100% credit. There's no freaking interest. It's the most powerful part of creative finance is 0% interest. Okay. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. You don't really see a massive profit right away, but what happens is you blink your eye and all of a sudden, what's your payment every single month?
$416.
So this year you paid her down. Let's see, you've owned that for probably about 12 months. I'd take it somewhere around there. Let's just say.
Yeah, it's getting close.
You've paid her down $5,000. So you built $5,000 in wealth this year just by paying her the mortgage down. Plus the property has appreciated $30,000. So on one deal, you made $35,000. Okay, in 12 months. Okay, then here's the other thing. How much money a month in cash flow do you make on this thing net?
Net, after I pay my lender and and everything, I make. Let's say I think it's just under it's practically $500. It's like 400 and I don't remember, like maybe 490.
Okay, so you net $500. That's after paying the seller. That's after paying your lender. That's after paying all the miscellaneous stuff. You net $500 a month, which means
it's a true $500 a month cash flow.
Right. So, which means you made another $6,000 in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
In just cash flow.
Yep.
Holy shnikes. Okay, so I got $30,000 in appreciation. The property's gone up in value. Okay, so my value's gone up. And I remember at one point you were contemplating selling this on a wrap, and I was like, Steve, abso-freaking. Actually, this is exactly what happened. You called me and we got on a phone call, and Rochelle was telling me something about a deal in Yuma that was not going great because you had some potential person you were going to sell or finance the deal to, and they were being weird with the down payment.
They were weird. They were crazy all around. Yeah.
Right. And then you told me about the deal, and I'm like, Steve, we need to figure out how to you keep this deal. Don't get rid of this deal. And so you're like, well, I don't have a lender. And so I go, let me help you find a lender. And I just calculated this last week. I have helped raise over $6 million for students in the last 12 months. $6 million. You were only 30,000 of it, but we raised another $5,970,000 we raised for other students. Okay. And there was a couple of big projects in there. There's a couple of projects that I raised over $1 million for one project that are working on that I can't talk about until they're done. But when we talk about them or when they happen, we'll end up talking about them. So we get on the phone. Okay. This is also the power of having a mentor. And this is also the power of having a community that can help you. Is you're like, well, Pace, I'm a freaking chemical pilot, bro. Like I don't got the 30 grand that it's going to take to get the deal done. So I helped you get the 30,000. I brought the lender to the table, and you've gained not only you've paid down the mortgage $5,000. I don't think you've gotten to the point, Steve, where you've actually utilized depreciation yet, nor do you really need to quite yet, but I'll teach you that when the time comes. So not even counting depreciation, which is huge for a property like this. Okay. You made $41,000 in wealth in 12 months on one stupid mobile home.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Steve, I don't want to like get into like your personal affairs, but how many of these houses a year would you have to do to replace your current income?
Not many. It would like if I
Like a
had
couple.
like 6 or 7, yeah, like if I had 6, it would be like I wouldn't have to work in the 9 to 5 anymore. It's not really a 9 to 5, but I wouldn't have to work the W-2 anymore.
Love it. So that was your first deal, and that was about 12 months ago, and that came from watching Steve Trang's freaking podcast, finding me, joining the mentorship, and then squatting up with one of the other students inside of Sub 2.
Yes.
So this is, again, the power of what we've built in our community, is that you got your first deal not by even having to search for it. You got the first deal by having somebody else bring it to you, and then you implemented creative finance to get the deal done.
Yes.
Melanie Nunez says, one mobile home? Yes. This is one damn mobile home in Yuma, Arizona, where the devil lives. Okay. The devil lives in Yuma, Arizona. It's so freaking hot.
Yeah. It's not a pretty place.
Okay. Everybody, I'm going to go through this one more time because it's super interesting how easy it is for people to miss this. Okay. Let's go through it one more time. He buys the property. Purchase price is $120,000. The seller finances it to him. So this is a seller finance deal. And the seller says to him, you know what, Steve, if you gave me $20,000, I would finance the other $100,000 and you could make me a payment. What's your payment to her again every month?
$416.
Okay. So he pays her $416. That's not a 30-year mortgage. That's probably a 20-year mortgage. Is that right?
Yeah, I asked for the 30, and that was the crazy part. She said, how much will that payment be? So I just calculated it up with 0 interest, and I told her it was like 200 some change, I think. And she said that wasn't enough. So rather than like try and, up the price or anything, I just shortened the term and told her what it would be for over 20 years.
Okay, so he's going to pay this off in 20 years. Because he has 0% interest on this payment. The $416 is 0% interest. Okay. So he is like, I don't have the 20 grand. So he gets a hold of me. I help him find a lender. We get the 20 grand. Plus we got him we got him another $10,000 to do closing costs and a little bit of repairs. And you ended up probably even putting a few $1,000 in your pocket, right? When you put the deal together.
Yeah, I did. Actually, I did pretty good because the house was actually, it didn't need a whole lot. And so I just hired somebody to paint like the garage door because it was flaking, and then do like a paint inside so it looked fresh. And then, just got it rent ready.
Right. So we got him $30,000. Okay. I went and raised the $30,000 for him. And he didn't end up needing all this $10,000 for the deal. So he kept that $10,000, and he probably put anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000 in his pocket. So in what mother freaking world can you get a house seller finance? No, you didn't have to use your credit. You didn't have to use your own money. In fact, Steve, you got paid to do this deal up front.
Well, what's crazy is like if you think about it, I got paid to take a house that cash flows. That's insane. That's the most insane thing ever. It's like one day you don't have anything, and then the next day you have a $3,000 in your bank account and also $500 coming in every month.
For the rest of your life and your children's life, you will make
until 20 years, and then
it goes up. And then also you'll get to guess how many times you'll raise the rent over those 20 years. You'll probably raise the rent 5 to 6 times over those 20 years as well.
Right. But that payment's never going up. So like, that's a beautiful thing.
Okay. It's interesting what people pick up. Like Phil Banks says to me, you started saying something about Jerry Norton, Steve podcast. Bro, I don't know how you picked up on that, but I was just using Jerry Norton as a part of the story. I said exactly what I wanted to say. Okay. I was just saying he was watching other people on Steve Trang's podcast, and he saw Jerry Norton. He saw other people. He ended up running into me. He resonated with what I was saying, and he decided to join my mentorship. So nothing more to say other than that. Benjamin Fabella. How often do these deals happen? Benjamin, all the mother freaking time. All the time. In fact, I'm doing another 0% seller finance deal with Steve Crawford, which is why Steve Crawford is on the show today. I'm trying to get to the point where I can tell you guys a little bit more. Okay. Does this work in rural markets? Carmen, Google Yuma, Arizona. My gosh, Carmen. Carmen, Google Yuma, Arizona. We've only said it 25 times. It's a farming community. It happens all the time. In fact, go watch the breakdown of this house that I just bought. I bought this. The seller finance I have a portion of seller finance on this house. $1.8 million seller finance for 0% interest. 0% interest happens all the time on mansions all the way down to mobile homes. Okay, what we're talking about with Steve is Steve's first deal. So everybody that's trying to learn wholesale, Steve got his first deal, which still pays him every single month and will continue to pay him for the rest of his life. He did one deal within a couple of weeks of even learning what this was. Okay, Yuma, Arizona is as rural as it gets. It's a farming community where half the community actually leaves in the summertime. It's a snowbird area, right?
Yeah.
So his job, he's a crop dusting pilot. Like that's what they do down there is they freaking grow food. Okay.
Yep.
So here's the thing. It happens all the time. It happens in every market. 0% seller finance deals. Steve gets paid not only every single month, but he got paid probably between $3,000 and $6,000 in his pocket when he did this deal. No money out of pocket. In fact, he got paid to put the deal together, and every single month he still gets paid. Okay. So we put the $30,000, we helped him raise the capital with the seller. I'm sorry, for the seller. So in the last year, he's owned this property about 12 months. His cash flow, net, by the way, somebody's going to say, well, what about the net? Guys, it's the net. Okay. We're talking about the New Jersey nets over here. Okay, guys, New Jersey net number is $500 per month. He gets $500 a month net in his pocket net.
After everybody's paid.
After everybody's paid, he gets $500 every single month. That's his cash flow. So when you multiply that by 12 months, that equals $6,000. He's made not only did he make $6,000 up front, but for putting the deal together, he made $6,000 last year in just cash flow. Then the property has gained value of $30,000 just by Steve owning it. He didn't even have to do anything to it. Did you just cleaned it up? I've been to the house. You just cleaned it up.
Yeah, I like I said, I painted the garage door and painted the inside, and that was it. That is literally everything. And I took the curtains down and washed them, and that was everything.
Okay, so you gain value of $30,000. It's now the property you bought for $120 is now worth about $150 to $160. And then the other thing is you paid down the seller about $5,000 as well. So you owe $5,000 less than you did last year because you are paying 0% interest, 0% mother freaking interest.
Right.
Mr. Steve Crawford, crop duster in freaking Yuma, Arizona, who just Googled how to get rich, got his first deal and structured this as his first deal. So when people say, how often does this happen? Happens all the time, guys. It can be your first deal. It can be your 30th deal. These types of deals happen all the time. In fact, I'm going to tell you 2 deals that I'm working on with Steve right now. Okay. One where Steve is actually going to be my partner. Another one he's assigning to me because it's kind of a smaller deal. But in the future, Steve's going to be like one of the largest manufactured home park owners in all of Yuma, Arizona. And your old boss your boss might be asking you for a job one day. Okay. So you paid down the mortgage $5,000. You gained value of $30,000. You got $6,000 in cash flow, and you put $6,000 in your pocket. So you actually made, in the last 12 months, you made $47,000 in wealth in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
On one deal. And guess what? Next year, guess what's going to happen? The value is going to go up. He gets all of that money. The cash flow is going to continue to come in. Steve will get all of that money. He will continue to pay down the lender, and he will get all the credit for that as well. Every single year, Steve is going to make probably between $15,000 to $20,000 in wealth on this thing every single year. Bro, that's crazy. That's your first deal.
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully that catches everybody up to speed that Steve is, and Steve, I don't mean to keep knocking this home. I'm trying to like really, really make sure people understand this. Do you feel like you know everything about creative finance and paperwork and tax depreciation and all this kind of stuff? Or do you feel like you're still kind of starting your journey?
Yeah, I don't. There's like a lot of that I don't understand, like tons of stuff I don't understand.
But your $500 a month cash flow still, that cash still hits your bank account, right?
Yeah, I know how to spend $500.
Okay, so Steve, let's talk about a deal. Let's talk about that mobile home park that not only are you assigning to me for $30,000, but you're also staying on as a partner with me. How did you find that deal? Was that another JV deal? Was that driving for dollars? How did you find that deal?
That one came from a list that was pulled. I think it was a high equity list.
Mm-hmm.
And it came from squatting up. I have some like I have an issue like consistently like cold calling and things like that. And
I think everybody has that same exact issue, bro. Just FYI.
Except one dude I know. His name is Michael, and I partnered up with him because he loves cold calling. And so he cold calls, and then I run the numbers on deals, and this was the first deal we got together.
Love it.
So we are partnered up on this one.
Love it. So you're making an assignment fee that's pretty handsome. Are you guys splitting that assignment fee?
Yeah, if it's a creative deal, we split it. I take 75 because I underwrote it and I have all the paperwork and everything. And he brought me the lead, so he takes 25%.
Love it. And you have the relationship with Pace, obviously the buyer. So
right.
you get paid a little bit more, right? Love it. Okay, cool. So that's a deal that is how many pads of a mobile home park is there?
At that one, there's 32.
Okay, 32 with the ability to extend to how many?
34.
Okay, so you can throw 2 more on it.
Yeah, there's actually one home back there that probably needs a rehab, but there's one already there.
Love it. Okay, so cold calling, you get a hold of a seller, 34 mobile home park. You are going to stay on as a part owner of that one. And I told you this is what I told you and any other student is that if you get a mobile home park and I'm the buyer, I'll leave you on as a partner. And what that means is that you continue to, not only do you get your assignment fee, but you'll actually get cash flow for the rest of your life and ownership. And if we ever exit the deal, you get paid out your percentage of that deal as well. So that is truly squatting up. Steve doesn't want a cold call. He hates it. So he finds somebody else that wants a cold call. Steve gets on the phone with the seller They work out a deal. And then Steve is like, I don't have the money to buy the mobile home park yet. So I'll go find a buyer. And then because I like Steve and we've done deals together, I go, let's just partner on this and I'll leave you in as an owner. So you structured another deal where you leveraged the power of squatting up and you became an owner on a property with no money out of your pocket. In fact, you got paid up front to become an owner of a mobile home park.
Right. That's crazy. It's like it's like making something out of thin air. It's crazy.
What's your wife think about all this?
No, she was pretty happy. Yeah, we celebrated when we landed that contract for sure.
We
were excited.
Love that. Love that. Love that. So you've got another deal under contract that I'm buying from you as well. And it's another 0% seller finance deal, right?
Right.
Okay. So tell me about that. How did you find that deal? Was that driving for dollars or what was that?
Yes. That one I went driving for dollars and I found that park in probably like an industrial neighborhood.
Yeah, it's very industrial. I've done my research. I actually have a buddy of mine. So check this out. This is the thing I wanted to tell you today. So I have a buddy of mine that lives in Yuma, Arizona.
Oh yeah?
Yep. And he owns 600 doors in Yuma, Arizona. 600 doors. Okay, so
Really?
that's between mobile home parks, apartment complexes, stuff like that. Okay, 600 doors. His name is Tom Cockburn, Yuma, Arizona. Okay, so I reach out to Tommy and I go, hey man, I need a good septic guy. And he goes, oh yeah, what you buying something down here in Yuma? I go, yeah man, I'm going to take over Yuma. I'm going to chase you down. I'm going to try and get to 500 doors really quick. And he goes, what's the deal? So I send him the address and he goes, man, I've been trying to get that deal for 7 years. And I go,
Really?
yep. And I go, what'd you try and buy it for? And he goes, well, the problem is I couldn't get a lender to finance me on it. And I was like, well, why didn't you use creative finance? Because that's what we did. And he's like, I never even thought about it. I just was trying to buy it with a loan. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So here's Steve. And then I want to give you props. You have a guy in your market that owns 600 doors that didn't go that. I don't think he went that route of the creative route, and especially didn't go the route of the 0% seller finance route. And he was trying to buy the house at a discount, or the mobile home park. What'd you buy it for? 140 or 180?
180.
So he's been trying to buy it this whole time for $100,000. We bought it for 180, but we got it with 0% seller finance. For me, all day long, I'd rather own it for 180 with 0% seller finance than buy it with cash or with a loan for an interest rate, right? With cash.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you, man, you're on the right path. And so everybody that's paying attention, okay, I want everybody to know this. We are going to be doing a massive live next Saturday. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to do something kind of fun. So next Saturday, we're going to be pulling a nationwide mobile home park list. And I'm going to be sharing it with all of the sub 2 students. It's going to probably cost me somewhere north of $50,000. I'm going to pull a list for the entire nation. Okay. And my purpose in doing this is this. Number one, I want my students to win. And I'm going to give them a $50,000 list that I pay for out of my pocket. But what I also am going to do is I'm going to have all of our audience learn on a live exactly how to pull a mobile home park list. And I am going to pair you up with students who I give the list to, so that my students and the non-student audience can JV on these mobile home parks. And they can have the people who are non-students going out and calling and drumming up leads. And then the students can actually close the deals and work the creative finance angle all over the nation. I'm going to be giving this list to 2,000 sub 2 students. And anybody that wants to team up with my students, we are going to be doing a live on Saturday so that you can get access to this list as well. So I'm creating the link right now. Let's see here. Next Saturday, this coming Saturday, 19th, it is going to be at 10 a.m. So guys, if that sounds cool to you, let me know. We're going to be doing, let's see, Arizona. Perfect. Create the air meet. Just gave away an $180,000 list to the students this morning, Steve. I don't know if I've ever given you that list, the one for all of Maricopa County.
No.
You probably only care about Yuma at this point anyway.
That's the only place I've ever done anything is Yuma. But
okay. All right, guys. So here's a link. It's an air meet link. So this coming Saturday, please look at that link. They get booked out. Once I start talking about this on Instagram, they get booked out in 2 minutes. Okay. Last week we did an air meet. We booked it out. We usually have a cap of 500 people for these air meets. And if I talk about it on social media for 30 minutes, it's completely gone. And then people get pissed off at me. If you go look at my Instagram from last week, people are like, oh, why don't you do it for more people? Why don't you blah, 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 blah. And the reason we do a lot of these air meets, okay, is because air meet allows me to have a private organization of over 500 people, right? So look right there. Mark McCrimmon says, I tried to get into last week's, no chance. Mark, if you have a single brain cell functioning right now, which you do, obviously, I'm just making a point. Make sure you click on this link that I just shared with everybody. It's the air meet for this coming Saturday. I have 270 people or so watching right now between a couple of different streams. You've got some Facebook, you've got some YouTube lives. Guys, click on that link and book out your spot on this air meet because I'm going to be squatting. I'm going to have my students squatting up with the non-students, and I'm going to be giving away a $50,000 list. You guys are going to watch me pull out my American Express and buy this list live. I'm going to have somebody pull this list for me live on this air meet. And then I'm going to give this list away. And I want my students to be squatting up with people so that we can do more and more deals together. If you look at Steve Crawford right here on the screen, this guy is the epitome of squatting up. Okay. His first deal, which he made $47,000 last year on, he'll continue to make $20,000 a year in appreciation, cash flow, and mortgage pay down for the next infinite amount of years. Okay. He got that deal by squatting up. He got this deal that the one he is getting paid an assignment fee and staying an owner of a mobile home park. He's going to get that deal, or he got that deal by squatting up, right? Somebody else cold called the lead. Steve closed it. And so the whole spirit of this air meet that we're going to be doing next Saturday at 10 a.m. Arizona time, the whole spirit of it is for us to squat up as a community and my students to show you what they can do. Okay. So we're going to do that next Saturday, 10 a.m. Arizona time. If you are a student, you'll get the list. If you're not a student, you need to come into that air meet and you need to get linked in with one of my students. Okay. You need to get linked in with one of my students. That is the goal of this. Okay. If you understand this, Horacio Flores, my bro, you guys need to tune into these lives on time. Steve, he already said this. He got 75% of the deal. His cold calling partner got 25%. I love you, Horacio, but you guys got to tune in on time. Okay. We go over all these things. Okay. Make sure you guys register for this air meet because once I start talking about this on Instagram, what is going to happen? Melanie Nunez says, can I squat up with Steve? Absolutely, Melanie. You absolutely can. Let's see here. A couple of good questions in here. I'm going to jump on them and then we'll get a little bit more into Steve. We're going to do a lighter, Sunday service today, guys. We're only going to go till 8. So we got 18 more minutes. The reason I'm going to go light is because I'm going to do a 2-part series. I'm going to have Steve Crawford and myself. Hopefully next week, Steve, or this coming weekend, I'm going to make it down to Yuma and my wife and my kids are going to come down there with me because I have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off from filming. And
Okay.
so I'll come down there. We'll hang out. Maybe we can hang out with the kids and the wives and stuff and go to dinner if you're up for it.
Absolutely.
Except you're going to buy dinner with your $500 cash flow, not me.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. We'll take you to a nice restaurant.
Take me to Arby's, bro. That's where I go every time I go through Yuma.
I don't know why that place is nasty. But if
Okay,
that's
so
where you want to go, man, we'll get some food to go from somewhere else, and we'll meet you at Arby's.
yes. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. You guys could do that. A couple of good questions.
Nice restaurant.
Darren Talcott says he's fired about this upcoming Zoom. So Darren, thank you for that, brother. Really appreciate that. If you are a sub-2 student, this is my goal is I want to recruit non-students for you to help you guys go out and make more calls, make more text messages, and you guys run the world together. Okay. I want to recruit an army underneath you guys as my students who are educated. And look at Steve. Like Steve admittedly doesn't know everything about creative finance, but he knows enough from the mentorship and he has enough confidence to go out and get stuff done. Like I tell everybody, go make mistakes. We'll work them all out. And Steve just goes out and makes mistakes. Okay. Irene Torres. I love you, Irene. You've been following us for a long time. Your questions are really, really great, but your question also indicates that you are a real estate agent. I'm very sorry to say this. I'm not saying this critically. I'm just saying it's very obvious. You say, I don't understand why as a seller does 0%. We've talked about this at length. Okay, Irene, we need to get you talking to motivated sellers. Get away from the on-market stuff. We got to get your brain wired around these off-market motivated sellers, okay? Because you would understand every single story when these sellers give us 0% seller finance. You would hear the story and you would go, that makes sense. So it tells me you're not talking to enough motivated, distressed sellers that have enough situations on their plate that going with a real estate agent, listing the property on the market, or even selling for cash makes absolutely 0 sense for them. It's the exact opposite. Selling to us on seller finance makes way more sense to them based on the story that they're going through. So we got to help you get better leads and get you in front of motivated sellers that are willing to do this kind of stuff. Because it's over and over and over and over. It happens frequently. Okay. Ben Diaz says, I don't want to stop learning this till I can get out there and freestyle finance and mentor others and overwhelm them with value. Absolutely. Okay. Glenn Bennett, this is one of my favorite questions of the day. He says, does the mobile home purchase include the land? Glenn, it's actually the opposite. Okay. So the home that Steve purchased is a mobile home, a fixed, pay attention to that. A fixed means it's attached to the land. Steve owns the home and the land. Okay. In a mobile home park, it's the opposite. You own the land. You don't own the mobile home. Your tenants own their own mobile homes. They bring those mobile homes onto your land and they are leasing your dirt from you. One of the greatest reasons why a mobile home park is amazing is because you're not responsible for the repairs of a mobile home you don't own. All you're doing is letting them park their mobile home on your dirt. You are renting your dirt to these tenants. If something bad goes wrong with their toilet or their electrical, or the thing burns down, or they have cats or dogs or whatever in their mobile homes, do you think we care? No, we don't care at all. Not even one little bit. Okay. Mobile home parks are absolutely the future of creative finance over the next 5 years. And the reason being, and I'm going to tell Steve this, I don't know that Steve actually knows this, but Steve, with Biden in office and these capital gains that are coming out, all these sellers are going to be way more, they're going to desire to sell and seller finance way more. And if you're a sub-2 student, you know wise. I brought in Toby Mathis from Anderson Business Advisors. We've talked about when you do a carryback or an installment sale with a seller, you can help them avoid a lot of the tax or spread that tax way, 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 way out in the future. Okay. So you got a lot of these sellers, like the seller on, what's the street name? Is it Alamo?
Yes.
So the seller that's just sold the newest mobile home park, that seller, I can tell you right now, is like, I want to sell and I want to get the number I want, but I also am fearful of capital gains and all these other things. So I'm going to sell to you on an installment sale so I don't have to pay all those crazy taxes right up front. Okay. So everybody understand the power of mobile home parks. It's insane that the cash flow that you receive off these, you get to keep 90% of it because you don't have repairs and maintenance and all these other issues. Okay. So Rob Robbins, good to see you in here. So good to see you in here. How much does it cost to become a sub 2 student? Can it be seller financed? Tony P, don't become a sub 2 student. Okay. Just work with my students. Bring my students all the deals and they'll help you out with those deals. Okay. Don't worry about that. If you got to, what can I tell you about down payment arbitrage? Aaron Strack, that sounds like a Sean Terry strategy. We are talking about down payment arbitrage. It's called selling on a wrap. Okay. Down payment arbitrage is something that Sean Terry took the wording of something that's been around for 100 years and he changed it to something that makes sense to people's brains. Down payment arbitrage. It's selling on a wrap. We talk about it frequently. In fact, we did a wrap Zoom, or we did a wrap Sunday service like 2 months ago. We do those a lot, except I actually talked Steve. If you go back in the very beginning of this podcast, I talked Steve out of selling his first deal on a wrap because I think down payment arbitrage is a horrible strategy for building wealth. It's good to get a deal done, but for building wealth, Steve would not have made that $47,000 last year. He would have made like $3,000 or $4,000 arbitraging the deal. And the deal would have ended right there and he wouldn't be in the middle of the deal anymore. So down payment arbitrage, it's a great strategy, but not for building long-term wealth. And ultimately, everybody on here, 250 plus people, are not in here to do 1 or 2 deals. They're in here to have financial freedom. Now, my goal with Steve Crawford is I want Steve to be by the end of this year completely financially free, and I'm going to help him get to that point. And I want to show you guys how easily it can be done through mobile home parks. Okay. So Saturday, everybody, I'm going to give you the link on AirMe. Who has not signed up? Give me a comment in the side and say, I have not signed up. Okay. All right, check it out. So Lisa Edwards, great question. What do you do for insurance on mobile home parks? Just liability. Yeah. So I don't have to insure the mobile homes because I don't own the mobile homes, right? I own the land. And so I get general liability on all the land. And there actually is a specific insurance policy that you get when you own a mobile home park, but it's essentially just general liability. Great question. George Reyna says, never even thought to consider mobile home investing. Excited to learn. Yeah, I mean, it's great. You don't have to worry about a tenant. Does your tenant ever bother you on your first deal, Steve, or not really?
Well, no, I got extremely lucky with that. Like he's a military guy and he's like lives alone and he just wants to be left alone. He takes care of the house. He doesn't ask me for anything, but I know that there are like horror stories out there, but I don't have that issue with my guy.
Let's see here. Enrique Espinoza, you should do a challenge first to $20,000 monthly cash flow with creative finance. We have a lot of students that have reached that. I reached that in 4 months when I started doing creative finance heavily. That whole podcast with Steve talks about that. We are way, 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 way past that. I have one Airbnb, one house. We talked about this 2 weeks ago on Sunday service. One house makes me $10,000 a month. One house makes me $10,000 a month, not in income, but my personal take home is over $10,000. $10,300 was last month's take home on one house. I bought it seller finance. I turned it into an Airbnb. Getting to $20,000 cash flow you can do it pretty quickly. Okay. Lawrence Swartz says, how do you get a private lender to agree to a second lien position on a seller finance deal? Lawrence, I would work with one of the students that has watched the raising private capital Zooms and how I structure private lenders into my deals. how I convince private lenders to jump into second position on my deals, one of the students can help you either A, find the content that you need, or B, walk you through how it's done. It's very simple. Okay. Justin Canberra, they say, Steve, congrats on the deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Steve, you're frozen again. Steve's frozen, but that's all right. We're going to wrap this show up. Guys, what I want you guys to do is I want you to sign up for the air meet. Okay. Sign up for the air meet next Saturday. So before Sunday service, next Saturday, we're going to be going through and doing, there he is. Sorry, you froze again.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Next Saturday, what we're going to do is we're going to get you a laptop once we get this next deal closed. How about that?
Yeah, that's definitely a plan.
Let's see here. Casey Jenkins says, Scott and I will be attending Saturday's air meeting. Owning a mobile home park is on our list of goals in building wealth. Can't wait for Saturday. I look forward to it. I want everybody squatting up with each other. This is the community we're trying to build here, right? I want everybody squatting up with each other. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's see how many people I've got registered for this already. It's going to be a small amount because it's interesting how little people take action. And then it's like right when it is going to go live, it sells out in like 2 seconds. Okay. We actually had a pretty good amount of people. We had 140 people register for it, but we have 270 people watching. So only half the people signed up for the air meet. I'm always curious why that is. I'm giving away a 50,000 person list. Or I'm sorry, a $50,000 list. I'm going to pull out my Amex on a live air meet, buy this list and give it away. And you still only have half the people sign up for the air meet. Isn't that crazy, Steve?
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm signed up.
It's like, what is it? And I think people think like I'm there to sell. Every single time I do like a Robert Allen. Did I sell anything on the Robert Allen air meet? Did I email you guys and try and sign you up for some affiliate or do anything crazy? Or do I just give crazy value for hours on end? I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to get you guys to do some freaking deals. So if you're not signed up, it's because you are bonkers. And what's going to happen is I'm going to go on Instagram tomorrow and I'm going to tell everybody about this air meet we have coming up on Saturday, and it's going to book out in 4 seconds. Okay. Like the last one did. We had 980 people hit the server in like literally 10 seconds and it shut the server down. Okay. So if you haven't signed up for the air meet, and check this out. What is it? She says, Trina Lawson says, no, Robert Allen was awesome. I brought Robert Allen to you guys. I had all the ability to sell you something. I don't even know what I would sell you. And by the way, I tell you guys all the time, don't sign up for my mentorship. Work with my students. I'm not here to sell you anything. I want you guys to do deals together. So Steve, who is my student, Steve, how can people reach you? Do they reach out to you on Instagram, or how do they reach out to you?
Yeah, Instagram's good. Or message me on Instagram and we can talk there.
What is your Instagram?
It's Stephen Crawford, REI.
I think you should change it to the crop dusting real estate investor.
The crop dust. All right, that's what I'll do.
I'm just kidding.
I take all advice literal. So tomorrow, that's what it'll be.
So guys, give Steve Crawford some love. We did a shorter Sunday service tonight. And the reason being is because I'm gonna have Steve Crawford come back potentially next Sunday when I'm in Yuma. I might do a live Sunday service with Steve. If not, I'll have Steve come back in a couple of weeks after we close one of these deals to talk about the breakdown of the deal, give you guys the address, because there's some really, really cool things coming up in the pipeline with Steve on these deals, but I don't want to talk about them until they're closed. And I don't want to give you guys the address, but that's my favorite thing to do is bring up an address, pull it up on the screen, show you guys exactly, when it closed, what the paperwork looked like, all of those types of things. So we'll bring Steve back. Helping Hand says, will it be recorded, the mobile home class? No, none of my air meets are recorded. You either show up or you miss out. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get people to show up to my things live, because there is the most important part of these lives is the side comments and the side chat. You get to know everybody in the side. Okay. You get to find people to squat up with. I want you guys to show up to these air meets so that you can get to know each other in the side chat, not just to get value. Yes, the value is there, but the value is basically lubricant for you guys to come in and network with each other. Okay. So Steve Crawford, REI, right? On Instagram.
Yeah. Steve Crawford, REI.
Let's see here. Let's see if I got any more people to sign up for this thing. It's crazy how little people will actually sign up for stuff. After I went on that rant, I got 17 more people to show up. Literally 120 people that are watching this right now have not signed up for that free air meet. 120 people. My gosh. All right, guys. Appreciate you. This was a good Sunday service, breaking down this deal for Steve Crawford, giving you guys an understanding of how easily it is to get into this business. All you have to do is Google how to get rich.
Yep.
That's step one.
Consistently try. That's it.
Exactly. So, guys, we're going to have Steve come back here in a couple of weeks after we close these other mobile home parks. And I want you guys to also know that if you're a non-student, I want you to DM Steve Crawford, because once I give this list to Steve, Steve is going to give you guys parts of this list so that you guys can work these leads and bring him leads and bring other students leads so that you guys can have my students close your mobile home parks all over the country. This is not just for Yuma, Arizona. This is nationwide. This is all over the nation. So appreciate you guys. Steve, you got any final words?
Yeah, I think that it's all about squatting up. Every deal I've done has involved squatting up, and it's all involved the sub 2 mentorship in one way or another, every single one of them. So I think squat up with people in the sub 2 mentorship if you're not in it. And if you have things that you're not good at, squat up with somebody who is good at those things and fill in the holes where they have holes and get things done. That's what I've done with my partner, and it's worked out. We've got two parks down.
Yeah, just in 30 days. Just wait for the next 6 months, my bro.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good.
I'm excited.
Steve, you're the man. Everybody watching, thank you so much for tuning into Sunday service. We will see you next week.